State University football. I'm Gary Lang along with Don Morton. Both teams coming in here tonight. The Richmond Spiders making the travel up from Virginia. Both teams coming in with 1-2 records. One of these teams is going to walk out of here tonight most likely at 500, unless somehow we come up with one of those odd ties. But both teams looking for a win. Delaware State trying to recover from the blast they got in the second half last week by Wagner. Played well in the first half, and then it kind of fell apart in the third and fourth quarters. The big bugaboo for Delaware State, Don Morton, penalties and turnovers.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Gary. Penalties and turnovers. At the outset of the game last week, we talked about playing a clean game. Unfortunately, after 4 quarters of football, the report sort of says, and that's always the score, that didn't happen. So here's the good news. It's another week of football. In fact, it's Saturday Night Lights in Dover. All right, that's exciting for these players, and you get another opportunity. But then you look across the 52 or so yards across the sideline, and you see a really good Richmond Spiders team. They're 1-2, but you got to remember one of those 2 losses comes against the University of Virginia. And watching that film, they handled themselves quite well. So if you're DSU, it's a chance for a clean slate. You got to get back to basics. You know, Coach Hall will shift the focus back to fundamentals, right? Doing the little things and probably taking it in pieces, right? So you don't talk about winning the game this week. You talk about winning the first play, right? You talk about winning the first series, maybe the quarter. Then you look up, it's halftime, you're in the game, and you've got a shot. But you have to compartmentalize the game today and get back to basics.
Richmond had one of those surprise losses, Game 2, to Wofford, a game that most of their fans thought they should have won. They came back last week against Charleston Southern and put it on them at 38-0. So this is a powerful team. It's a very run game-oriented team. They only have 1 touchdown pass in their 3 games.
Yeah, sort of a throwback. You take a look at the yards per carry. They're a team that wants to run the football. Coach Huseman, old school coach. He's been doing it for 35, 40 years. And so Delaware State's first challenge is going to be to see if they can stop the run game. But here today, they're going to be on offense first, and they'll see if they can build some continuity behind Marquis Adams.
Delaware State in the Hornet blue uniforms with the red numerals, and they'll take the opening kickoff at the 11-yard line, bring it up the left side, and all the way out past the 30-yard line to about the 33, 34-yard line on the return for the Hornets by Ryan Lee, a tight end. So Delaware State will come out here and set it up. I think they didn't want to start on defense this week after what happened last week. First play from scrimmage for Wagner, 60 yards for a touchdown. So maybe the idea tonight is get your offense out there and see if you can establish something, get something on the board first, and then try to stop that running game. And Delaware State has done fairly well against the run this season. We'll see what they can do here tonight. And they'll go ground first play. A little bit of a hole through the middle and about a 5-yard pickup out close to the 39-yard line. Could be as much as a 6-yard gain on the play.
Yeah, when the Hornets have been good, it's been basically because they've had balance, meaning that they can run the football as well as they can pass it. Everybody knows they have weapons that can get downfield, but when they've gotten in trouble this year, it's been when they've struggled to run the football. Some of that starts with being willing to call run plays. So really good start for Delaware State out of the gates.
So it'll be 2nd down and 4. That's not a bad start at all. A lot you can do from that kind of a situation. E.J. Core sets up on the outside, the tight end, and then comes back into the slot. They'll run again, go to the left side, and diving ahead, trying to get the mark, was Jaden Sutton, who carried the first time as well. They're going to say he made the forward progress up to the 44-yard line, and that will be a Hornet first down. Good to establish that early and get that first down.
Now the Hornets going with a little bit of tempo.
Sutton now sets up directly behind the quarterback. Play action, throw, left side, Core bumped out of bounds around midfield.
Yeah, those are the good things you can do. Core was sort of a big part of the effort last week. Even when things started to look bleak, E.J. Core sort of took on a vocal leadership position. I know he's excited to get back out here with a clean slate. Those 2 running plays are great. You know, we talk about running, and you want to run to gain yardage, but it also sets up cool stuff. We started to talk about that last week. A little RPO, NFL style there. Delaware State moving the chains here to start the game. 2nd
down and 4 from the 50-yard line for the Hornets as they move from our right to our left. Now Core goes in motion to the right side, and the quarterback Adams is going to keep it. Has to evade a couple of tacklers in the backfield and breaks open down to the 40-yard line. Now a loose ball as people dive on it. But I think they may rule that Adams was down when the ball came out. At any rate, it will be Hornets ball at the 38-yard line of Richmond. Nifty moves by Adams in the backfield there. A couple of guys tried to catch him in the backfield, and he evaded them and then found a big hole and picked up 12 yards. And Richmond has a couple of guys who have racked up a couple of quarterback hits and tackles for loss. And so Delaware State's going to have to try to protect that quarterback. We have a timeout, and I guess the referee's microphone not working. We couldn't hear what he said.
It could be that they're taking a look at the fumble. Delaware State doing a smart thing, going right on the football. They've been playing with tempo anyway, but so it could be an issue of where to spot the ball after a fumble. You see Marquis Adams, spot on, was able to recover the fumble, but sometimes you want to make sure you get the spot as well as the clock correct.
Now the review is, if it is being reviewed, is not down on the field. The referee has contact with where they're looking at it here in the booth. And the booth review is right next to us, as a matter of fact. I can see what they're looking at and running the tape forward and backward.
Yeah, you can see sort of a funky
it.
carom there. It does come back to Adams. And again, my thought is maybe we're thinking spot here, get the correct spot. You're getting close to the red zone, yard here, yard here. Really matters to the coaches, even if the fans sometimes don't understand why.
They call it a game of inches, so you want to make sure you get every inch you possibly can out of the officials and out of what you do with the football.
So, Gary, I just want to go back. This has been a really interesting drive so far. Delaware State showing a willingness to run and be disciplined this week, where last week I thought maybe they pulled out a few too many formations, a few too many of the cool things. And so, sometimes, especially on the first drive, you want to establish yourself between the tackles. And Delaware State's offensive line so far has been up to the task. So they'll be hungry to get back on the football and keep this thing moving down the field.
All right, they're saying the ball is Delaware State's ball at the 38-yard line of Richmond. So a good first down run by the quarterback, Marquis Adams.
Yeah, so don't change who you are if you're the Hornets here, right? You've been moving the ball, running the football, couple play actions. You see it in the red zone, you start getting close, and you start changing who you are. I think Coach Hull should keep the identity that he's established in the first half of the series.
Two receivers split out wide right, one on the left side, fairly close to the line, to the rest of the line. Here's Adams, has to get away from pressure in the backfield, throwing downfield. It is complete inside the 20-yard line. Going up high to get that one. And that was Core, the tight end.
E.J. Core, we talked about it. Here's a kid who plays every play the same way, like it's the last play he's going to play. So he finds openings. You always see the effort, and so that play breaks down. But Adams is able to find Core, who runs that scramble drill, just finds the opening. Really nice pass on the move from Marquis Adams.
Nice first down for Delaware State, down to the 16-yard line of the Richmond Spiders. Ball on the near side hash mark as Adams barks the signals. He has a man in the backfield with him. He's going to throw toward the end zone. It is incomplete and just thrown to the wrong side. His receiver was looking inside, turned around. The ball was a bit to the outside. He just could not make the adjustment for it. And I think that the intended receiver there was Jordan Hull.
Yeah, we talked about getting Jordan Hull involved a little more, a little targeted there. Looked like Marquis Adams looked for sort of the outside shoulder, and we had a receiver thinking maybe we're throwing to the inside shoulder. So good news is you can correct things like that as the game goes along. Really nice play call, though, by Coach Hall.
Second down and 10 from the 16 for the Hornets. Play action, they'll go right through the middle on a running play and crashing ahead to the 10-yard line. Sutton had two men in the backfield. You don't see that often with this offense, with two running backs in the backfield.
Yeah, so Sutton and Gillis have both been effective. We've sort of seen them sub for one another. That time, Coach has both of them in. And that's tough for linebackers to key on, right? So you know that routinely Delaware State wants to get to one of those guys, so you put two of them in, and you sort of run some distraction to the defense. So some cool stuff, but it's all solid.
It's working. It has him down to the 10-yard line with a third down and 4. Adams now takes the signal, takes it forward, quarterback draw, gets down to around the 5 or 6 yard line. That's going to be pretty close to first down territory. This is a nice drive that the Hornets are putting together here.
Yeah, kudos to the offensive line here on the opening drive. They want to set a tone. They've seen the spread. They've heard what's supposed to happen in the game, and they're trying to say that the game is not played Monday through Friday. It's played on Saturdays, and so far on this Saturday, they're moving the ball right down the field on a big, tough Richmond Spiders team that looks like they might be sucking a little bit of wind here, Gary.
Quarterback Adams got the 4 yards needed. First and goal from the 6 yard line now for Delaware State. Lone back in the backfield will be Gillis. Gillis gets the carry. Gillis breaking a tackle. Touchdown, Delaware State. Gillis broke a tackle at the line of scrimmage and then went to the left side, untouched after that, and got the initial score for the Hornets.
Just a super drive for the Hornets. This looks like the Hornets from the second half of Sacred Heart. It looks like the Hornets that battled out in Hawaii with that FBS school. And, that's just the kind of drive you need. This is what they talked about all week. So we talked about compartmentalizing the game and winning little battles. They win the first drive, and you want the extra points, so you can go up 7-0 here.
And then you force the other team to make adjustments instead of looking at you and saying, well, you just went 3 and out, so what we have is working. Hornets going to kick for the extra point. Here the kick is up. It is through the uprights. Very quickly on the first drive of the game, Delaware State gets on the board. 10-17 left in the first quarter here at Alumni Stadium. Delaware State out to a 7-0 lead over Richmond. You're watching MEAC football on ESPN+, putting the U in HBCU. We're HSRN. They did. Where the Spiders will put it in play. First down and 10, running play, trying to go right off right tackle, and a nice stop made along the line of scrimmage by Delaware State on the run by Andrew King.
Yeah, Darren Cook with the big hit there. I'll tell you what, it's Delaware State that's coming with the energy here tonight. They move down the field. If Coach Hull hired Spike Lee, couldn't have written a better script in that first drive, and right now the defense seems to be matching the intensity from the offense.
Well, they certainly did do the right thing on that drive.
That's really good, Gary.
Thank you. Second down and 8 for the Spiders as they come to the line of scrimmage. Quarterback from the gun takes the snap, fakes the handoff, wants to throw downfield. It is going to be complete and up to the 50-yard line, dragged down in Delaware State territory after making the catch. And I believe that was the wide receiver, Javion Griffin.
Yeah, Richmond's only sends 3 guys out on a route there. Again, we talked about it, Gary. This is a running team as an identity, and you got to wonder what that means if they're already thinking about throwing the ball here. I mean, I got to tell you, I'm surprised by how physical Delaware State is tonight, especially in the trenches.
Ball on the Delaware State 48-yard line. That was a pretty good pickup of 22 yards. Quarterback hands off, they'll run it up the middle, and a stop made just across the line of scrimmage, slipped away and got across the 45-yard line to the Hornets' 44. Looks like a stop after 2 yards, but then the running back
Yeah, that's Zach Palmer Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah, out of Delran. I tell you, really good back. Presented himself well against Virginia. Then again last week, he's averaging about 5 yards a carry. So that's a key guy for the Hornets to key in on and stop tonight.
Richmond with a sophomore quarterback, Camden Coleman. 4 for 9 passing on the season coming into the game tonight. Going to go to the air for the second time and has a man downfield. Threw it too far. And the intended receiver, Javion Griffin, just could not get down there and make the catch. That one sailed over Griffin's head, and there was no way he was going to catch up to it. So now it will be 3rd down and 6 for the Spiders. And the Hornets defense would love to make Richmond go and punt the ball away here.
Well, here's your second test. We talked about, Delaware State probably won the first game in their mind, which was the first drive. You get Richmond to punt here. Now you're 2 for 2, and things are starting to look, head in the right direction, we'll say.
Coleman from the gun with a lone back in the backfield right next to him. He drops straight back, wants to throw, swing pass out to the right side. It's complete, and the tackle will be made outside of the 40-yard line. It's going to be well short of the first down, as it's going to leave Richmond with a 4th down at about 4. A catch by Jerry Garcia Jr. I don't know how grateful he is at this point.
Well, so the Hornets passed the second test here. So the first test is, can you move the football? Not only did they move the football, they scored. Now you force a 3 and out. And, this is how you write it up. And got to tell you, as a former coach, it doesn't always go the way you write it up. So they got to be thrilled on the Hornets sideline right now.
Aaron Trusler to punt, averaging 45 yards a kick on the season. This one we taken at the Hornets' 10-yard line and returned out past the 15 to around the 16-yard line. And that was a pretty good decision to return that ball. He had a little bit of a room that he could work with, but he didn't want that thing rolling down inside the 10. Unfortunately, the return man looks like he got twisted around as the tackle was made, and he is down. The trainers are out there attending to him. So a stoppage in play here with 7:25 remaining in the first quarter. Delaware State leads Richmond by a score of 7-0. You're watching MEAC football on ESPN Plus, putting the U in HBCU. We're HSRN. Back. Hornets now with a 7-0 lead, getting their second possession of the football game here in the first quarter, and they look good so far on these first 2 possessions by Delaware State, going downfield and scoring the touchdown, and defensively as well, forcing Richmond to punt. Let's see what they do on the second possession here, and it's going to be a fake handoff, play action throw, left side, and a couple of yards on the play out to the 20-yard line. The line of scrimmage was the 16-yard line, and on that reception for Delaware State, Kyrie Benton, who's listed on the roster as a defensive back, but he was on the receiving end of that pass for the Hornets.
Yeah, right now I think what the Hornets are doing a really good job of is just being consistent right now. They're taking what Richmond's given them, and they'll take 4 or 5 yards, and they'll march down the field like they did before if they give it to them.
On 2nd and 6, they try to set up a screen core. The tight end on the left side will work his way out around the 23-yard line. A pick up on that play of just maybe a yard, and the Hornets are going to be faced with a 3rd down, about 3 yards to go. Looks like Core is becoming the go-to receiver for Marquis Adams here. Had a pretty good season last year for the Hornets. He was targeted a number of times and showed some good, solid hands. Good hands to catch the ball and hold on to it. Now on 3rd and short. 3 men split out wide on the right side. Adams under pressure. It's going to go down for a loss. Loss of about a yard as he dragged down at the 22-yard line.
Yeah, Marquis Adams a little indecisive there. The first time we've sort of seen that tonight, it looked like there was maybe an opening again to Core, and he thought about tucking it. And, really at this stage of things, you want him to make a quick decision and either tuck it and run or, let the ball fly. But a little indecision hurt them there, but, still got the lead. You want to play the field position game here and make sure you get a good punt and a good operation on the coverage.
So the Hornets send in their punter now as they'll kick it for the first time in this game. A nice high kick. Good hang time here. And it is muffed at the 42-yard line by Richmond. They're going to get it back. Great break for Richmond there as Kwanye Vinny just let that one go right through his hands. It stayed right underneath him, though, and he was able to fall on the football. Very close to a turnover there.
Yeah, it's close. That's why you want your guys flying down on punt coverage, right? You never know what can happen. We see it every week.
On the exchange? And 7. Hornets hoping they can make this a Saturday night in September to remember.
Yeah, so far it's been a memorable first quarter, but now the game settles in, the adrenaline's over, and now you're going to get into a game of X's and O's and schemes, and
Richmond to the air, and a man open downfield. It is going to be dropped right there into the hands of Jerry Garcia Jr. Well thrown ball by Camden Coleman. And he had the defender beat.
Hornets lucky there. Little breakdown in coverage. But I'll tell you what, everything's breaking the Hornets' way so far, and they're taking advantage of the breaks. But they'll want to shore that up because, Coach Huseman will be coming back to that play again.
You don't get the breaks to go your way for 60 minutes either. Sometimes the worms. It'll be 2nd down and 10 for the Spiders from their own 43-yard line. They're in the white uniforms, red numerals, white helmets with the Spider logo on the side. Could be a tough team to play if you suffer from arachnophobia. There's 11 Spiders there that you're looking at.
Well, right now,
a running play up to the 44.
Well, the Hornets are looking like the exterminators here right now. I'll tell you what, they are stout up front. The linebackers are flying up, and the running game's just not there. They pulled both guards there, and Delaware State stuffs them for almost nothing. Third and long again for the Richmond Spiders.
Tried to run it out behind tackle, and the Hornets were right there to stop it for a 1-yard gain. It is 3rd down and 9 now for Richmond. And as I said before, quarterback Coleman has not gone to the air much this year. This will be, I think, his 4th or 5th pass. Has some time. His foot slipped out as he let it go, but the pass is complete down to the Hornets' 35-yard line, and yards after the catch down inside the Delaware State 30-yard line. Quarterback looked like he slipped just as he threw the ball, but it stayed on target.
Yeah, tight end Matt Robert there. That's why you love a nice big tight end going across the middle. It's your best friend if you're a quarterback and you haven't been able to move the ball. A little mistake there by Richmond, though.
A little bit of movement on the offensive line. That's going to be the right tackle, Parker Mitchell, who came out of his set early. False start, illegal procedure, however you want to term it. It's going to cost the Spiders 5 yards, move the ball back to the Delaware State 33-yard line.
Yeah, for Richmond, the quarterback position has been a little bit in flux. They started the season off with Kyle Wickersham, a kid from Louisiana, presented himself really well against Virginia. And last week, we saw a new quarterback here, Cam Coleman, emerge, and he's given him a little bit of a different look. As a coach, you prepare for one guy, they throw in another player, and that can throw you off. And so far, Camden Coleman looks like a pretty competent thrower of the football.
Officials had a little bit of a conference there, and I don't know what it could have been. It stayed the call on false start. I was wondering if maybe the conference was questioning whether the Hornets had encroached and caused the linemen to jump. But now it's 1st and 15 for Richmond. Quarterback on the draw. They'll run it straight up the middle and be stopped as he gets to the 30-yard line, manages to push his way down to the Delaware State 29. So he got back. They're going to say he got up to the 28, so they got back his 5 yards on that play.
Yeah, Richmond looking for ways to move the ball on the ground here. So far, the Hornets have really done a good job on the running back, so you have a little design quarterback draw there to maybe gain the yards back from the penalty. But again, Delaware State is looking really tough in the front 7 so far tonight.
2nd down and 10 after the 5-yard run by Camden Coleman. Coleman now from the gun, turns around, fires right side, and immediately hit after catching the ball. Vene, the wide receiver, Kwanye Vene, and he was nailed right away. And looks like they may have even lost the yard they did on the play.
Yeah, Khalif Jimerson flying up from the defensive back position and really laying the hammer down there on the Richmond Spiders. I tell you what, I continue to be impressed with the intensity. I mean, this isn't adrenaline from the locker room. This is intensity at this point for the Hornets.
Really focused, and that was a great play by Jimerson.
3rd and long again.
3rd and 11. Jimerson for Delaware State on the first 3 games of the season here. Tied for the team lead in tackles. Now the quarterback scrambling in the backfield. Coleman finally dumps it off and it's broken up. Diving effort to knock that ball away. The receiver was diving for it, but for Delaware State, it was Christian Garrett jumping in front.
That's really good coverage from the Hornets defensive backs. I mean, given the kudos to the line so far, these defensive backs are not only covering really well, they're flying up to tackle. And that one's particularly tough, right? So the pocket breaks down, you've got a scrambling quarterback. You practice to maybe defend a guy for 3 or 4 seconds. That's 5-6 seconds that the Delaware State defensive backs did a tremendous job on the receiving package for the Richmond Spiders.
Richmond setting up for a field goal attempt. It looks like the ball will be spotted just inside the 37-yard line. It's a 47-yard attempt. It is up. Is it long enough? Does it make it? It hits the crossbar and bounces back into the end zone.
It's another break, Gary.
It sure is. He had it, an end-over-end kick. It looked like it might make it, and it just got there, hit the crossbar, and bounced back into the end zone. Another half inch, it might have bounced over.
And he's kicking it over the crossbars in pregame from 50, but it's not pregame anymore. It's the game.
Another break in the action here. 2:17 left in the first quarter. Hornets hold on to the 7-0 lead over Richmond. Nice scoring drive on the first possession. They had to punt on the second one. Now let's see if they're able to move the ball again. And they'll run a draw play up the middle, and that's good for a few yards. Looking at that offensive line really pushing forward and helping out the running back.
And time mixing it up with Marquis Gillis. We said we'll see Gillis at times, we'll see Sutton at times, and even Adams at times. But I just love the Hornets' willingness to be a running football team and Coach Hull's willingness to be a play repeater right now. If it works or if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Showing a lot of confidence in that offensive line that they're able to make some holes and push that defense back. Usually that kind of a surge you see late in a game instead of in the first quarter. On 2nd down and 6, play action, fake the handoff, and the quarterback Adams running. He'll get the first down as he crosses the 40-yard line and knocked out of bounds on the Richmond side of the field.
That's what I mean by decisiveness. That time he didn't, look, it's up to him. He's the quarterback. He's got to determine whether he thinks somebody's open or not. But you got to make that decision pretty quickly. And he did that time. He tucked the ball. Another positive play for the Hornets.
Adams gets the ball up to the Hornets' 42-yard line. And they'll have another first down. They are putting the first downs on the statistical column in this first quarter. But they want to get some more points on the scoreboard, up by 7. Handoff in the backfield, the running back gets a couple of yards out to maybe the 43-yard line, a gain of about a yard, and then he met a wall of tacklers, Gillis on the carry.
And we've talked about this in the past. Once you start running the football effectively, what happens is you start seeing more defensive backs, more linebackers sort of getting in the box. And then you can be the passing team you want to be. Then you can do screens. Then you can have, shovel passes. Everything is there, but it all starts with the running game.
It's the old axiom in football, use the running game to set up the pass, not vice versa. That seems to be how a lot of teams work, though. They use the pass to set up the run. Adams now has some time, throwing over the middle just a little bit too high for Core as the big tight end goes up high, tries to pull it down, but just out of his reach.
That's a little bit of a strange play. I'm not sure if Marquis Adams wasn't looking for Christian Tate there. You know, we had sort of deep crossing posts,
right?
And it looked like maybe that wasn't the intended receiver. But in any event, you know, you live to play another day. This is actually the first 3rd and long for Delaware State.
Core had to climb the ladder to try to get that one. I think maybe if it was intended for Tate, he would have had to make a dive to the dirt to pull that in. Could have dropped between them. 3rd down and 9 now. Core at 6'1", needed to be about 6'3" to catch that one. Adams dart over the middle. It is complete at the Richmond 40-yard line.
And that's an absolute dime he throws there. You know, I tell you what, this is a different Marquis Adams here than we saw last week. And, you know, we talked about that week of practice and a good coaching staff like this and what they can do. You can see the adjustments. They've asked them to make quicker reads, and as a result, the offense looks much better.
Nige Lolly with his first catch of the night as he'll work his way to the sideline. They go to both sidelines as we are down to triple zeros here on the first quarter. 15 minutes down, 45 to go, and the Hornets leading Richmond by a score of 7-0.
For 15 years, the Home Depot Retool Your School program has been championing HBCUs. We've been right there with campus grants, scholarships, and career opportunities. Winning schools have seen their visions for upgrading their campuses and communities come to life through sustainability projects, as well as new places to connect, like innovation lounges and outdoor pavilions. As we celebrate 15 years of partnering with HBCUs, we're excited to keep the momentum going. Retool your school. We're powered by purpose.
And picking the program that's just for you, it matters. From scholarships to meeting with advisors and making new friends and all of the campus life and activities, it matters. With continued one-on-one support, student success planning, internships to graduation, and landing your dream job in your career field, it matters. Because at Delaware State University, it all matters.
For 15 years, the Home Depot Retool Your School program has been championing HBCUs. We've been right there with campus grants, scholarships, and career opportunities. Winning schools have seen their visions for upgrading their campuses and communities come to life through sustainability projects, as well as new places to connect, like innovation lounges and outdoor pavilions. As we celebrate 15 years of partnering with HBCUs, we're excited to keep the momentum going. Retool your school. We're powered by purpose.
MEAC football, where speed meets power, where every game is a battle and every moment counts. This is the home of thrilling action, heart-stopping excitement, and unmatched passion. Our fans, they're the heartbeat, the soul, the pride that drives us. The Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. Be a part of something legendary.
See if you
Defense A, offense A, special teams so far A. Running play into the middle. It is Jaden Sutton. And he gets across the 40 to the 39, a pickup of about 2.
I'm going to sound like a broken record, but it's just the willingness to run the football. I can't tell you how heartening it is as a football coach to see coaches call multiple running plays. Again, all the other stuff you want to do is going to be there. You've already got a 7th guy creeping in the box. You keep moving the football, an 8th guy will creep in. Then the stuff downfield is there.
2nd down and 8 now as Marquis Adams, work from the gun, takes the snap, rolls right side, little quick pass, complete down around the 30-yard line. They'll see We'll see where they mark the forward progress, and it looks like it's going to be good for a first down for Delaware State.
Yeah,
Christian Tate on the reception.
Yeah, we talked, with a couple keys I had circled, Christian Tate and Jordan Hall, right? It can't just be E.J. Core out here in a running game. So, he's got multiple targets. But, again, a quick decision by Marquis Adams. I really like when they move him out and kind of put him in play as a runner and a passer.
Another first down for Delaware State at the 30-yard line of Richmond. Trying to get within striking distance once more here. Play action, fake the handoff, throwing down toward the end zone, far corner. It is going to be incomplete, just a little bit too far for Jordan Hull to put that one in. He made a dive at it, but if he had caught it, he would have been out of bounds.
Yeah, going for it. You like that. You that's what we talked about. You build a consistent run game, and you can take your shots. Marquis Adams just off by a fingertip or two there. The thing you think about here, Gary, is, I kind of think this is one of the games where you want points. You want points, and, where do you need to get to kick a field goal here starts to become the question.
Let me correct. That was Nige Lally who was the intended receiver, not Hall. So it's second down and 10 from the 30. Fake the draw play, and the pass batted down at the line of scrimmage. Looked like number 2, Jeremiah Grant. The lineman got his hand up and slapped that ball down. Now the Hornets with 3rd and 10. That's the first time we've seen that today for Delaware State.
So you're right about at the 30-yard line. In the pregame, it looked like our kicker Wilson was maybe good from here. You'd love to maybe get 4 or 5 yards back to feel more comfortable. But he was certainly booming it from 45, 46, 47 yards in pregame. So we're definitely getting close to the area where you could think about taking the 3 points.
On 3rd and 10, they'll go from a shotgun again with Jaden Sutton set up just to the right side of the quarterback. Marquis Adams. And hold on, we've got a penalty marker. And
delay game. Offense.
A
5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
You're correct.
Looks like that's a delay on the Hornets. That's a shame. I'm going to say that's the first demerit. Stick with our sort of report card.
Right.
We talked about field goal range there, and those could be an important 5 yards. So, all right, so the sort of the first test that we didn't pass here on a clean drive, but 3rd and 15. I still think you're playing for field goal position here. I don't think you need to try to get 15 here.
We're a minute and a half into the second quarter, and that's the first demerit. That's not my report card. Adams, the quarterback. He's going to keep it on the draw play. Has some blockers out in front. Taken down. Looks like he's going to be stopped around the 32-yard line of Richmond. So now they'll have 4th and 12. And they will
I think they're going to
send out special teams.
Yeah, I think they're going to give it a shot.
No, they're going to try the field goal. And it's going to be a 49-yard attempt. Nathan Wilson.
Again, good from 50 in pregame, but it's a little bit different. You got 11 angry spiders on the other side of the ball.
1 for 2 on the season on field goal attempts. That was a 29-yarder. The snap is good. The spot is good, but that's going to be wide left.
Got a flag, though.
We do have a flag on the field, so hold on. Don't anybody go anywhere. And this one's going to go against Richmond.
Personal foul. Defense, number 7, leaped over the line. It's a 15-yard penalty.
It's a 15-yard penalty. That's going to give Delaware State a first down and move the ball down inside the 20-yard line. Now, the referee's microphone is either not working or we just cannot hear it to be able to make out what the penalty was, but it was a big one.
Wow, that
15 yards.
That moves the Hornets all the way down close to the red zone, about the 22-yard line there. That's a huge mistake by the Richmond Spiders there.
Actually, Don, it put it at the 17.
17.
That was 15 yards from the 32-yard line. And so Delaware State gets a break there because the field goal attempt was wide left, and I'm not sure it would have even crossed the crossbar itself.
Huge break for the Hornets.
They get it back, 1st and 10. The ball just about at the Spiders' 17-yard line. Quarterback Adams on the keeper. Tried to go outside, saw tacklers out there, cut it back in toward the middle. May have even lost half a yard on the play.
Yeah, kind of tough.
Okay. We're told that they got Richmond for hurdling at the line of scrimmage. Jamal Brown and Matthew Traynor, a running back and a defensive back, respectively, both wear number 7. So we don't know which one of them, but it was somebody for Richmond wearing number 7 who committed the penalty by hurdling over an offensive player.
It's a rare call, but a call in the amateur game. Can't jump over the top.
Adams, scrambling again, gets down inside the 20-yard line. May have gotten back to the line of scrimmage. Didn't have much time to even try to look for a receiver that time. That offensive line broke down a bit.
And this is when, again, running the ball is good here, right? You keep the clock running. And we've talked about it in the past. You know, you've got to give your defense a break. They're out there battling. They're playing tough up front. And so you slow the tempo down a little bit here. You're in control of everything if you're Delaware State. So play at your tempo and dictate to Richmond.
It'll be 3rd down and 10 at the Richmond 17-yard line. And red zone, an area that's been tough for Delaware State in recent seasons. 2 receivers split out wide left, one on the right side. They'll run the ball, and they'll give it to Gillis. Gillis spinning his way inside the 15. So a little bit better position now if they're going to go for the field goal on 4th down and 6, close to 7.
Sure, if you're Lee Hull, you take the 3 points here. Right?
Better than a 49-yard attempt here. This one will be a 31-yarder. Nathan Wilson, as I said just before he kicked the previous one, has a field goal this year of 29 yards, so we know this is his range. This one is up, and it is definitely good. Had all of that one. He would have had that one from 49. That ended up on the track behind the field. So the Hornets extend their lead now with 10:35 remaining in the first half. It's Delaware State 10, Richmond nothing. But Delaware State just extended the lead with a field goal. Nice kick by Nathan Wilson that had plenty of distance, and it looked like it was right through the middle. So Delaware State now up 10-0 on the Spiders of Richmond University. Wilson set to kick off. This one, high kickoff, will be taken at the 10. Brought straight up the middle now, cutting to the right side. It is Jerry Garcia Jr. has some running room and finally corralled out of bounds out around the 40-yard line. Garcia, we see why he has gotten open a couple of times offensively because he has some pretty good speed.
Yeah, they've got a few guys. I'm surprised we haven't heard DiGennaro's name yet. But I want to talk about the Hornets a little bit. It's easy to say that, you're catching breaks, right? Teams catch breaks both ways every Saturday. But the main thing that I want to focus in on here is how they've taken advantage of the breaks, right? So, you come up a little short on a field goal, you get a penalty, and you capitalize on it. So it's not always about the breaks. It's about what you can do with the breaks. So far, the Hornets have been taking advantage.
Coleman fakes the handoff, pulls the ball away, and he's grabbed from behind and wrestled to the ground after a loss of a yard back to the 39-yard line.
So, man, Eric Montez. We didn't call his name a lot last week, and he probably wants to change that. And if he keeps making plays like that, we'll call his name a lot tonight. Again, kudos to both offensive and defensive line tonight. Really starting the game with intensity.
Pick it up here at a 2nd down and 11 for Richmond. Right now, Coach Lee Hull and his offensive and defensive coordinators have to be pretty pleased with how things are going here tonight. They just want to keep it going that way. Fake the handoff. Coleman to throw. Has a little bit opening and a man downfield who is clear, open, and taken down at the Delaware State 21-yard line. That was just an easy pass and completed to the tight end, Matt Robert.
It looked like there was a little miscommunication in the middle zone there, deep. That's something they'll want to correct there. There's been a few times now where Richmond is able to find some soft spots in the middle.
Quickly back to the line of scrimmage, handoff in the backfield, run to the right side, down the sideline, inside the 5, touchdown Richmond. Well, it didn't take them long to get that one after the long pass completion and taking it into the end zone as well as the Spiders now get on the board.
That's why that last drive was so important, Gary, because, at some point Richmond's going to snap out of it. They're going to get off the bus, as we say, at some point. Yep. So, all right, so you've held serve, and you sort of broke them, and now they've arrived. So now we got a football game.
Andrew King on the touchdown for the Spiders. We can now see, as we discovered, there is a light switch here in the press box. The extra point kick is up. It's good on the conversion by Brandon Peskin. So the Hornets hold on to a 3-point lead here as we go to break at Alumni Stadium. It is Delaware State 10, Richmond 7. This is MEAC football on ESPN Plus, and we're putting the U in HBCU. We're HSRN. together offensively, and it was keyed by a big pass play that picked up a lot of yardage for the Spiders, set them up that it was a short distance to the goal line, and now it's a 10-7 game. Delaware State has scored on 2 of their 4 possessions. They're going to get the ball back here. Would like to make it 3 of 5. And here's their opportunity. Low kick inside the 5 to be brought up the right side. Whoa, what a hit there. Right at the 19-yard line. And that looked like rugby coming out of nowhere and making that solid hit on Jeffrey Broughton, the return man.
Yeah, that was pretty dynamic, Gary. You know, I'm hearing this word a lot on Sundays about dynamic kickoffs, but, you know, I haven't seen many kickoffs more dynamic. So, look, hey, a tackle's a tackle. If you're Delaware State, you get up and, you got to win this drive. All right? Richmond's responded. You know, you came out, everybody's favorite Mike Tyson quote, right? Everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth. So both teams have been punched in the mouth now, and they got to see who can win the rest of this quarter.
Now, that was kind of like a little slap as the quarter ended, the round ended there, too. Return came out to the 20-yard line. So now Delaware State will set it up from there. Near side hash mark. Quarterback Adams drops back. And there was pressure. And he downed that ball. He threw that straight at the ground. Are we going to see...
I think that's grounding.
They're putting the ball down on the 12-yard line. Has to be grounding. It was not outside the tackle box.
Offense, number 5.
Grounding.
There was no receiver in the area. Quarterback was still in the pocket.
He just threw it straight.
Lost it down at the spot of the foul. Second down.
It's one of those things, you wonder about some of this stuff you see on Sundays. And, you've seen Aaron Rodgers do that on dead balls a bunch of times. And you just wonder, just a momentary lapse of judgment there, because that's not a call you want to make. You're really struggling, and the field position change right here is what hurts with that. So poor decision that time, but you got to pop up here and you got to make it right on 2nd and 3rd.
It's an 8-yard lapse of judgment, too, back to the 12-yard line. Now 2 men in the backfield with Adams. He'll give to the second. He'll try to take it outside right tackle, and right there for making a tackle was Bryson Parker, the defensive lineman. And we had a flag go in just about the time of the tackle from the side, the head linesman.
I think we might have a hold on the Hornets here.
No, man. All of a sudden, things not going their way. 2 plays here, setting them back.
3rd down. Holding. Offense, number 75. That penalty is declined. It's 3rd down.
It would have only been half the distance to the goal line as well. So Richmond says Delaware State's got to go 3rd down and 16 here if we decline the penalty.
And so all of a sudden, this is not the recipe. All of a sudden, things are looking different. We've got another flag here.
This one in the backfield.
Illegal substitution. Offense,
illegal substitution on Delaware State. That will move the ball
penalty.
back 5 yards.
3rd down.
Put it back to the 9-yard line. Well, actually looks like about the 9. They had to get to the 30-yard line for a 1st down. So it's 3rd down, just about 21 to go.
If you're the Hornets, you just want a clean play at this point here on 3rd down.
Hope they got all that out of their system. Adams with pressure coming. Drops a little pass over the middle. Complete, but they're going to get just across the 10-yard line. Crossing pattern to Core, the tight end. But he wasn't able to really turn it upfield that fast.
And that's tough. I mean, look, you put yourself in that position. There's only so much that you can do on 3rd down. So hopefully Delaware State can get back to basics where they were in the 1st quarter.
So Delaware State now to punt. The punter standing in the end zone to take the snap, William Schwera. Richmond has 10 up on the line. They came after that when Schwera got it away. It will go rolling down close to midfield, now start to go back. Delaware State will cover it at about the 47-yard line of the Hornets. Richmond getting their best field position of the game so far out of that punt, with 7 minutes and 31 seconds to go in the half.
A little contact back there. You're looking at some of the Hornet coaches thought maybe there could have been a roughing, or call there, but no call from the official.
And we get the break on the exchange of the ball. So we'll take the break as well. Richmond now down by 3. Let's see if they can get something going from the Delaware State 47 when we come back. Delaware State 10, Richmond 7. While you were listening to some important messages, the officials let play resume. So Richmond with a long pass. They decided to go for it all with a pass down the right sideline, and it was not a well-thrown ball. It was way out of bounds for the intended receiver. They were trying to connect up with London Ellis, the wide receiver. He never had a chance to catch that ball, so it will be 2nd and 10. But you know what? I like that kind of play call. You've just gotten a first and you've gotten possession of the ball on the other team's side of the field. Why not go for it? Sure. Now it's 2nd and 10. They'll go for a double reverse and take it around the right side. And it's going to be good for a first down. Finally pushed out of bounds after Jerry Garcia Jr. came from the left side, took the flip from the running back and went around the right side, and they set up a real wall of blockers.
Well, not only does the kid have one of the great names in college football, Jerry Garcia Jr., he's pretty quick around the corner. You rarely see the quarterback out there blocking. So I tell you what, you got to be careful sending your quarterback out there as a pulling guard, but it worked out on that play for the Spiders.
He got 11 down to the Delaware State 36-yard line. Coleman, the snap, hands it off directly, pushing through for about a 5-yard gain up to the Delaware State 31. That was just some power running behind an offensive line that was pushing people backward.
Now Richmond feeling...
Zach Palmer-Smith, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, they're feeling good. They're playing with a little tempo now. Football's such a game of momentum.
Go with the same guy in the same play, basically, as they'll pick up 4 more to make it 3rd and 1.
And this is more or less the Richmond team we expected to see tonight, right?
Right.
Just runs 3, 4, 5 yards in a cloud of dust. So maybe it took them a few minutes to settle in, but this is the Spiders team that the Hornets thought they were going to see.
Now that Hornet defense has to play the way they did in the first quarter because it's 3rd down and 1 in Delaware State territory. And they'll go one more time to Zach Palmer-Smith. He'll pick up the first down as he takes it to the Hornets' 22-yard line. Richmond eating up yardage here on the previous possession and this one, looking like the offensive team we expected. Part of what we didn't expect was that they would throw as many times in that first quarter. Now they've gone back to their ground game, which has sustained them through the season. Coleman to the air. As soon as I said that, some hand fighting in the end zone. No call. It's incomplete.
Yeah, a lot of hands both ways. I kind of like the fact that the official in that case let them play, let sort of the athletes determine what happens there. And just a good battle between the defensive back there. And I think that's my man Wayne Favors again with good coverage.
He usually does have some pretty good coverage back there, one-on-one. The incomplete pass makes it second down for Richmond. As the quarterback, Coleman, looks at the sideline, gets the play, and sets it up. Out of the shotgun, ball on the far side hash mark. Back goes in motion to the near side. Coleman tosses it over the middle, is complete. Finding an opening, running downfield, inside the 5, pushed out of bounds. It was Garcia again on the reception.
Yeah, nice little crossing route there. So they added a little wrinkle. So far, they've just shown the ability to throw down the field. That time, maybe one other time with the tight end, it started to exploit Delaware State's soft middle with a crosser.
It'll be first down and goal for Richmond.
I also thought they might have missed, I don't know if you see there on the replay, thought maybe they might have missed a blindside block there over the middle that really allowed him to gain some yards after that. So that's a tough one.
Spiders ball at the Hornets 3. They'll run it left side, and the blocking sets up touchdown Richmond.
There's a hold right in front of the play, though.
Andrew King, Zach Palmer-Smith on that. Yeah.
Well, they're letting them play, Gary.
They're letting them play
tonight, and I guess if it's going both ways, that's fine. But, I don't know. Looked like there was a pretty big hole by number 71 there. But in any event, next play.
Right in front of the head linesman, too. So Richmond now goes up on top, and they'll try to put the cherry on the sundae on this Saturday. Brandon Peskin, who missed a field goal, but has been 2 for 2 on extra points. Richmond now with a 4-point lead. 4:44 remaining in the first half. You ought to run over, get a ticket there with a 4-4-4-4. It's 14-10. Richmond leads Delaware State. The break here on ESPN Plus, putting the U in HBCU. We're HSRN. We got a cue here. Yeah, we got cued, but they didn't go. Kickoff down to the Delaware State 1-yard line, and on the return, upended at the 15-yard line, and they got him low. And I'm afraid, is that Core or Gillis on the return?
Hard to tell. Looks like it might be Gillis. We also have some laundry on the field down around the 30, 35-yard line. Got an infraction there.
The tackler came in low and caught the return man right around the knees. He started to roll around in pain immediately. Trainer's out there attending to him.
And you hope the best for that young man. But sort of going back to the end of that drive, look, every play, each sideline thinks maybe something wasn't called. I'm sure the Richmond folks feel like that maybe Wayne Favors interfered. At the end of the day, though, it's kind of what makes our game a beautiful game, right? It's all about overcoming. There's so many life lessons in football. So some calls are going to go your way. Sometimes the ball is going to hit the crossbar on a kick, right? It's all about what you do in response to that. So, at the end of the day, you hate to see calls make it. So you love that they're letting the players make it happen, but I'll tell you what, sometimes the holds are egregious, and And this is the last time I'll mention it, but there'll be some questions when both teams go in the film room on that one.
No coach likes to see a call missed that could have helped his team, but they prefer it be out at midfield, not inside the 10-yard line when a team's trying to score.
Sure, you don't want the hold to be the thing that made the touchdown. And again, this will be the last thing I say on it. That hold absolutely made that touchdown. So, look, the score is the score. You have to respond.
Assisting the player and getting them into the exam tent. And Delaware State will start off here now with 4 minutes and 39 seconds to work with before we go to halftime, and they'll be working from their own 14-yard line. First couple of possessions, Delaware State looked really, really sharp. We saw the 180-degree difference on the last possession. See what they're able to do here. Running play to the left side, and that one goes nowhere as Jaden Sutton couldn't find any place to run. He kept trying to keep the feet moving. They kept pushing him back, almost pushed him back into the end zone. Let's see where they mark the forward progress.
Yeah, I'd like to see maybe something a little more of a quick hitter there. I don't know about the outside zone inside my 10-yard line, but get back to who you are. Back to basics, run the football between the tackles, keep the trust in your offensive line.
He was stopped for a 3-yard loss back at the 5-yard line. As the clock continues to run here at Alumni Stadium, Delaware State will split out one receiver wide on the right side, a single back in the backfield with the quarterback, Marquis Adams. Adams will hand it off. They'll run right into the middle and pick up a couple, maybe out to the original line of scrimmage of the 8-yard line, up to the 9. So it'll give Delaware State third down and long from inside their own 10. Now they're going to mark it at the 8-yard line. Third down and 10 from the 8 for the Hornets.
Well, you want to move the ball forward here, but what you can't do is go backwards here, right? So there can't be penalties. We've got to have great ball security here. It's really important to be able to live to play the next down.
Quarterback Adams from the gun. Takes the snap, drops back, has some time. Now he's going to pull it down and run with it up to the 10-yard line, and it's going to be stopped there. He got a little hesitant. Looked like he could have run around the tackler and got a little bit of a hesitation, didn't know whether to go inside or outside, and it cost him.
Yeah, it's all about decision-making for Marquis, right? When he makes nice, quick decisions, he looks like a very good quarterback. Those times, as you pointed out, when he's a little tentative, he puts himself in a little bit of trouble.
He did get 5 yards, so it's 4th and 5 from the 13. It gets down to my adage, though, about football. If you stop on the football field, you're done.
Right. And again, you can make a cut, a spin, but you start to cut 2-3 times, and that just gives people a chance to rally to you.
Yeah, because you're in one spot, and they can run up and grab hold. Here's the punt, end over end kick. Fair catch called for and made at the Delaware State 42-yard line. So once again, Richmond, their second possession in a row, starting from inside Delaware State territory, 2:17 left in the first half.
And now it's the Spiders with their ears pinned back, right? They look like the more aggressive team. They're not only flying down on coverage, but they're flying around everywhere. So Delaware State's going to have to find that intensity. They're going to have to get into their bag again and match the intensity right now that the Richmond Spiders are bringing here in the second quarter.
They got a wake-up call on the sideline there somewhere as we came into the second quarter. For a free insurance quote, call the Devane Insurance Agency, 302-838-3803, serving Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, D.C., and New Jersey. And they have set the line of scrimmage as the Delaware State 41, and then we get a timeout called by Richmond. As we get down close to our 2-minute timeout, we're just 17 seconds away from that. But Richmond decided when they came out, they didn't like what they saw defensively, so they called that timeout. Hornets next week go on the road to Campbell. We will be back with you on HSRN from Alumni Stadium 2 weeks from today, October 5th, against the Red Flash of St. Francis University. Now we're ready to go. 1st and 10 from the Hornets' 41-yard line. Coleman drops straight back, has time, throwing deep downfield. Man is wide open, and it went through his hands. Jerry Garcia Garcia Jr. had a touchdown, and he let that one go right through his hands.
That's the second sort of big drop for Richmond. You know, they had another one sort of down in the first quarter down the right sideline, but you know, so far 0 for 2 on the big bombs, and pretty good balls being thrown by the quarterback here.
Garcia coming into the day had 5 catches for 38 yards. His longest one was a 20-yarder coming in. He sure has not helped his quarterback twice here, dropping balls that should have been caught, and that one would have been 6 points on the board. 2nd down and 10. Draw play, running out behind the right tackle and breaking tackles, working up inside the 35-yard line, down around the 33-yard line. As they unstack, we'll pick up the ball carrier. And that was a carry by Zach Palmer-Smith. We have gotten to the 2-minute timeout, so we'll take the break here. Richmond leading Delaware State now 14-10. You're watching MEAC football on Now it's 3rd down and 2 for the Spiders as we come back from the 2-minute break.
I'd be surprised if Richmond doesn't run the football here, but I've been surprised a few times tonight. This is a big 3rd down.
Well, you might try to pull the defense in. No, they'll go ahead and run the football and get the 1st down.
That's who they are.
Across the 30-yard line down to the 28, and that is good for a 1st down. Now, Don, I looked at the offensive line there. In the NFL, they'd be calling them because that offensive line is off the line of scrimmage on the left side. Here's a pitch out, right side. Good pursuit by Delaware State to run Zach Palmer-Smith out of bounds. What I'm saying is the left tackle is lined up a full yard behind the line of scrimmage. Everybody's supposed to be up on that line.
Yeah, that's been, the modern game, the evolution of the game. We've started to see those tackles. First, the tackles, now the guard setback. So on Sundays, they've really emphasized that, right? That a real line of scrimmage. I tell you what, it looks really bad if you pay attention on special teams. And I know there was a big call, I think, in the Ohio State game earlier. Marshall, I think, would have had a big play. So it's been a point of emphasis, and I think you're very astute to notice it, Gary.
Coleman got in a little bit of trouble there, turned around, tried to complete a pass to his running back, Palmer-Smith, and threw it way over his head. But usually, if they're calling it on Sundays, after a week or so in the college game, they pick up on it as well. And that left side of the line, that left tackle is way back off the line of scrimmage. You can see almost 2 yards back. He's lined up on the 25, and the line of scrimmage is the 23. There's a quarterback draw right up the middle, good for a couple of yards, maybe 3 up to the Delaware State 20-yard line. Bring up 4th down and about 2 for Richmond.
Yeah, just to finish that up, I think the way to think about it is just think about running a race, right? You're out in the street with your friends, and it's essentially a 2-yard head start. You may be thinking, well, no, he's going backwards, coach, but he's a tackle, right? So he's always going backwards to do what we call pass set. So, you get, at this level, these are all tremendous athletes. You get a half-step advantage, and that's why maybe sometimes it's tough for the modern athlete to get a pass rush. I'm a D-line coach. I want to see those guys get after quarterbacks.
Well, it's Philip Gray III that we were talking about.
30 seconds.
Number 73. We have a penalty marker. Both teams going to the sideline for a quick timeout here. We'll stay right here with it. But to bring the point back, you're right. It is an advantage if you can set up a yard or 2 back, and he's 2 yards back off the line of scrimmage. Number one, if you're going to run block, you've got 2 yards of impetus behind you before you hit a tackler. If you're pass blocking, now that defender, that guy coming off the defensive line, has to come 2 yards deeper before he even penetrates.
Absolutely, and the language I've heard through AFCA and through the clinics is, look, they want the helmet of the lineman to at least be where the waist of the lineman next to him is. But again, seeing it a little bit more liberal in college, maybe it'll start to trickle down over the next couple weeks.
On 4th down and 2, pass complete, 1st down, Richmond at the Delaware State 15-yard line. Good pass completed to London Ellis. First and 10 from the Hornets' 15-yard line. Quarterback Coleman running, spins at the 10-yard line and is brought down. They'll try to set up quickly. The clock's still running here, down to 37 seconds left in the half.
Yeah, you don't have to go sort of lightning fast here. You've got to go with a little bit of tempo. You've probably got time for 2 to 3 plays here.
2nd and 4 from the 9. There's a pass incomplete. And that ball thrown just a little bit behind the intended receiver, Kwanye Venny. That stops the clock for Richmond with 25 seconds left in the first half.
That's why you want to call a passing play there. So, if it doesn't work, you stop the clock, which plays to your advantage. And right here, you've got everything you want. You got 25 seconds. You got 2 downs to score. You want 7, but you'll take 3.
Now it's 3rd down and 4 from the Hornets' 9. Pass rush coming up the middle. Coleman throwing back of the end zone.
Oh!
Picked off by Delaware State. What a move to cut in front and pull that ball down for Delaware State. Barry Wagner, the defensive back, came through. Coverage was there. Wagner came out of nowhere and jumped in front and stopped the Spiders' drive.
Yeah, Barry Wagner's having none of the momentum going back to Richmond there. So last week we talked about it. Delaware State, when they have playmakers, like what Barry Wagner did there, they have a shot to stay in this game. And it's not a bigger play that's been made in that game right there. Richmond scores, and that's a different ball game.
Yeah, that sideline would have been looking very depressed had Richmond scored on that play. Instead, they're all fired up now after the Wagner interception. With 20 seconds left in the first half, they'll bring the ball out to the 20-yard line for Delaware State.
I think there's a good chance if you're Lee Hull, you might just kneel on the ball here and get into the halftime. You take that momentum from the turnover, make some corrections, and play the second half.
And that's what they'll do. They'll kneel down and let the first half run out. Cush College is a proud supporter of HBCU sports. You can find them on the web at cushcollege.com. So as the teams go to the locker room, a lift for Delaware State just before the end of the half. Maybe they can turn that into some momentum when they come out for the second half. Richmond will have the ball, though, to start the second half. The defense will have to come back the way it played in the first quarter of this game. Score at halftime, Richmond 14, Delaware State 10. You are watching MEAC football on ESPN+. Putting to you an HBCU, we are HSRN.
From open house to acceptance, new student orientation, and picking the program that's just for you, it matters. From scholarships to meeting with advisors and making new friends, and all of the campus life and activities, it matters. With continued one-on-one support, student success planning, internships to graduation, and landing your dream job in your career field, it matters. Because at Delaware State University, it all matters.
For 15 years, the Home Depot Retool Your School program has been championing HBCUs. We've been right there with campus grants, scholarships, and career opportunities. Winning schools have seen their visions for upgrading their campuses and communities come to life through sustainability projects, as well as new places to connect, like innovation lounges and outdoor pavilions. As we celebrate 15 years of partnering with HBCUs, we're excited to keep the momentum going. Retool your school. We're powered by purpose.
MEAC football, where speed meets power, where every game is a battle and every moment counts. This is the home of thrilling action, heart-stopping excitement, and unmatched passion. Our fans, they're the heartbeat, the soul, the pride that drives us. The Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. Be a part of something legendary.
From open house to acceptance, new student orientation, and picking the program that's just for you, it matters. From scholarships to meeting with advisors and making new friends, and all of the campus life and activities, it matters. With continued one-on-one support, student success planning, internships to graduation, and landing your dream job in your career field, it matters. Because at Delaware State University, it all matters.
For 15 years, the Home Depot Retool Your School program has been championing HBCUs. We've been right there with campus grants, scholarships, and career opportunities. Winning schools have seen their visions for upgrading their campuses and communities come to life through sustainability projects, as well as new places to connect, like innovation lounges and outdoor pavilions. As we celebrate 15 years of partnering with HBCUs, we're excited to keep the momentum going. Retool your school. We're powered by purpose.
MEAC football, where speed meets power, where every game is a battle and every moment counts. This is the home of thrilling action, heart-stopping excitement, and unmatched passion. Our fans, they're the heartbeat, the soul, the pride that drives us. The Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. Be a part of something legendary.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Halftime. We are halfway through today's football game. My name is Rose Sandhill, and I am your host. For this episode, we will be talking to the Vice President of the Student Government Association, Asiya Abdul Kareem. What brought you to DSU?
Hi, so what brought me to DSU was the food ride.
Absolutely.
When I put in my application and when I got accepted, I graduated from a Delaware high school, so I came in on the Inspire Scholarship, which was food tuition. So I already had that. So it was just covering the cost of housing and
like
you know,
books
like
and,
all of that
yeah.
type of stuff.
Okay.
And the grants that I was able to receive and everything would cover that. Mm-hmm. So basically, I'm going here for free.
That's
and
incredible. Okay.
I'm trying to graduate debt-free as a first-time HBCU grad for my family. So
That's amazing.
Yes.
Awesome. And how was the process of running for SGA Vice President?
So the process was actually a lot. It was tiring. It was definitely late nights to it. I did run with a partner. We don't run separately, so president and VP do have to run together.
Okay, cool.
So going to trying to pick a theme, going to trying to do the photo shoot ideas and getting the outfits and everything, it was a lot of work put in, but it was so well worth it because we're able to live out everything that we spoke about while we were sitting on the couch of my old room.
That's amazing. I love that. All right, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more Halftime.
From open house to acceptance, new student orientation, and picking the program that's just for you, it matters. From scholarships to meeting with advisors and making new friends, and all of the campus life and activities, it matters. With continued one-on-one support, student success planning, internships to graduation, and landing your dream job in your career field, it matters. Because at Delaware State University, it all matters.
For 15 years, the Home Depot Retool Your School program has been championing HBCUs. We've been right there with campus grants, scholarships, and career opportunities. Winning schools have seen their visions for upgrading their campuses and communities come to life through sustainability projects, as well as new places to connect, like innovation lounges and outdoor pavilions. As we celebrate 15 years of partnering with HBCUs, we're excited to keep the momentum going. Retool your school. We're powered by purpose.
MEAC football, where speed meets power, where every game is a battle and every moment counts. This is the home of thrilling action, heart-stopping excitement, and unmatched passion. Our fans, they're the heartbeat, the soul, the pride that drives us. The Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. Be a part of something legendary.
From open house to acceptance, new student orientation, and picking the program that's just for you, it matters. From scholarships to meeting with advisors and making new friends, and all of the campus life and activities, it matters. With continued one-on-one support, student success planning, internships to graduation, and landing your dream job in your career field, it matters. Because at Delaware State University, it all matters.
For 15 years, the Home Depot Retool Your School program has been championing HBCUs. We've been right there with campus grants, scholarships, and career opportunities. Winning schools have seen their visions for upgrading their campuses and communities come to life through sustainability projects, as well as new places to connect, like innovation lounges and outdoor pavilions. As we celebrate 15 years of partnering with HBCUs, we're excited to keep the momentum going. Retool your school. We're powered by purpose.
MEAC football, where speed meets power, where every game is a battle and every moment counts. This is the home of thrilling action, heart-stopping excitement, and unmatched passion. Our fans, they're the heartbeat, the soul, the pride that drives us. The Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. Be a part of something legendary.
Welcome back, everyone. Let's jump right into our conversation. So, how does being a part of SGA impact your academics?
There's not really an impact to it, I don't think, because I know what I'm in college for, which was for my degree. Yeah. And yes, being a part of SGA is a lot, and being a part of SGA is so fun, and it has a lot to come with it. But when it comes down to SGA or academics, it will always be my academics. I know what my priorities are and what's to be put first and what can be pushed back later. And anything on in SGA can be like, I want to say it can be maybe, it can be maybe. I have people to help that with the board. I utilize my board members for that. There you go. That's what I want to say. I utilize my board members a lot when it comes to SGA. So even if there is something, and I do feel like when it comes to my academics, I have to focus on that. I'll just use a board member. But when it comes to that, there's no impact. My priorities are my academics.
That's great. All right. And did you always know you wanted to be a part of SGA?
So when I came to college, I actually wanted to be a nobody. But then I ended up running for freshman class vice president. Throughout that term, I ended up moving up. So I was freshman class president by the end of the term. And my mentor at the time was the SGA vice president. So yes, I did always want to be SGA vice president. I never wanted to be president. I never wanted to be anything else. It was vice president because of the role of it. Vice president is more of the people person. And it's more of the outside person. And I feel like my personality always fit for vice president. So I did always knew that SGA vice president was for me.
All right. I really, really like that. Awesome. All right. Thank you so much. We'll be right back with this break.
From open house to acceptance, new student orientation, and picking the program that's just for you, it matters. From scholarships to meeting with advisors and making new friends, and all of the campus life and activities, it matters. With continued one-on-one support, student success planning, internships to graduation, and landing your dream job in your career field, it matters. Because at Delaware State University, it all matters.
For 15 years, the Home Depot Retool Your School program has been championing HBCUs. We've been right there with campus grants, scholarships, and career opportunities. Winning schools have seen their visions for upgrading their campuses and communities come to life through sustainability projects, as well as new places to connect, like innovation lounges and outdoor pavilions. As we celebrate 15 years of partnering with HBCUs, we're excited to keep the momentum going. Retool your school. We're powered by purpose.
MEAC football, where speed meets power, where every game is a battle and every moment counts. This is the home of thrilling action, heart-stopping excitement, and unmatched passion. Our fans, they're the heartbeat, the soul, the pride that drives us. The Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. Be a part of something legendary.
From open house to acceptance, new student orientation, and picking the program that's just for you, it matters. From scholarships to meeting with advisors and making new friends, and all of the campus life and activities, it matters. With continued one-on-one support, student success planning, internships to graduation, and landing your dream job in your career field, it matters. Because at Delaware State University, it all matters.
For 15 years, the Home Depot Retool Your School program has been championing HBCUs. We've been right there with campus grants, scholarships, and career opportunities. Winning schools have seen their visions for upgrading their campuses and communities come to life through sustainability projects, as well as new places to connect, like innovation lounges and outdoor pavilions. As we celebrate 15 years of partnering with HBCUs, we're excited to keep the momentum going. Retool your school. We're powered by purpose.
MEAC football, where speed meets power, where every game is a battle and every moment counts. This is the home of thrilling action, heart-stopping excitement, and unmatched passion. Our fans, they're the heartbeat, the soul, the pride that drives us. The Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. Be a part of something legendary.
And we are back. So, what opportunities has being a part of SGA brought to you?
Being a part of SGA has brought me many connections. So I have been able to meet the senior administrators for Delaware State University itself, so which are great recommendations, as well as great, like, I want to say people, my name is always in the room that I'm not in.
Okay.
So when there's things to be needed, either for the Inspire Scholarship, for instance, there was something that they wanted to try out, but they just threw me in there because the people who were doing it, they just knew me.
Knew you.
And it was an extra thing. It was it was like an extra stipend on it, and they did give me a nice refund check.
That's amazing. Okay.
But so I would say the benefits are definitely being in rooms that I'm not actually in. We have got to do things like go on trips. So we went to NASAP, which was a leadership institute, and it was held at Claflin University. And we were able to connect with so many different HBCUs. I was able to get to know the other vice presidents at other HBCUs, being able to collab with them and try to bring other cultural things that they do at their school to our school to try to like shift it up a little bit. Yeah. There's a lot of opportunities that come with it.
That's incredible. Awesome. And are there any events coming up for students to look forward to?
Definitely Midnight Breakfast.
Okay.
Midnight Breakfast is the game changer for the end of the semester. Okay. We are trying to do something big this year. We're trying to add a little bit pizzazz to it. So definitely Midnight Breakfast, I would say.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me today.
And thank you for having me.
Of course. And thank you all so much for watching. My name is Rosanne Hill, and this has been Halftime.
From open house to acceptance, new student orientation, and picking the program that's just for you, it matters. From scholarships to meeting with advisors and making new friends, and all of the campus life and activities, it matters. With continued one-on-one support, student success planning, internships to graduation, and landing your dream job in your career field, it matters. Because at Delaware State University, it all matters.
For 15 years, the Home Depot Retool Your School program has been championing HBCUs. We've been right there with campus grants, scholarships, and career opportunities. Winning schools have seen their visions for upgrading their campuses and communities come to life through sustainability projects, as well as new places to connect, like innovation lounges and outdoor pavilions. As we celebrate 15 years of partnering with HBCUs, we're excited to keep the momentum going. Retool your school. We're powered by purpose.
MEAC football, where speed meets power, where every game is a battle and every moment counts. This is the home of thrilling action, heart-stopping excitement, and unmatched passion. Our fans, they're the heartbeat, the soul, the pride that drives us. The Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. Be a part of something legendary.
From open house to acceptance, new student orientation, and picking the program that's just for you, it matters. From scholarships to meeting with advisors and making new friends, and all of the campus life and activities, it matters. With continued one-on-one support, student success planning, internships to graduation, and landing your dream job in your career field, it matters. Because at Delaware State University, it all matters.
For 15 years, the Home Depot Retool Your School program has been championing HBCUs. We've been right there with campus grants, scholarships, and career opportunities. Winning schools have seen their visions for upgrading their campuses and communities come to life through sustainability projects, as well as new places to connect, like innovation lounges and outdoor pavilions. As we celebrate 15 years of partnering with HBCUs, we're excited to keep the momentum going. Retool your school. We're powered by purpose.
MEAC football, where speed meets power, where every game is a battle and every moment counts. This is the home of thrilling action, heart-stopping excitement, and unmatched passion. Our fans, they're the heartbeat, the soul, the pride that drives us. The Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. Be a part of something legendary.
Nathan Wilson is going to put it in the air and into the end zone for a touchback. Wow.
Boomed it.
We haven't seen one of those around here for a while. Wilson got into that one pretty well from our left to our right. No return on that one. They'll bring it out to the new line of scrimmage for Richmond. They'll set it up in the middle of the field or, well, on the near side hash mark at the 25-yard line. And that's where the Spiders will start from here.
Yep, so if I know Richmond, and I've seen lots of film on them over the years, they'll want to come back and establish the run. One thing for Delaware State is, I've talked about it a couple times in the first half, they've got to get something fixed there in the deep third, okay, the deep middle third, because that's going to be a spot that Richmond's going to try to exploit in the second half here.
Spiders go on the ground on first down and pick up about 5 out to the 30-yard line. As they'll go to one of their workhorses, Zach Palmer-Smith. He did a lot in that second quarter for Richmond to pick up yardage.
Yeah, you really just want to slow them down. You're not going to stop a running game, right? They're going to gain a couple yards, but you want to slow them down, make them earn every yard in the second half.
Occasionally you can stuff them, but, yeah, they're going to get some of their yardage. Now they'll give it to Palmer Smith again. Finds a bit of an opening and bounces through. Going to go across the 35-yard line to the 36, and that will be a Richmond first down.
And look, you can look at the rosters and see it. You know, Richmond feels like they're bigger, probably faster, probably stronger, but Delaware State's been up to the task so far, and they can't let this be a game on paper. It's got to be a game between the lines.
Quarterback pulls the handoff down and completes a pass on the left side. Rolled out to the left side and got it out to Javion Griffin, who had been targeted once earlier in the game, was not able to come up with the completion. They're going to mark that down at the 47 of Richmond. Penalty marker goes. This one's going to be encroachment by Delaware State. Pass downfield. It is going to be ruled complete at the Delaware State 7 to 16-yard line. And Richmond will decline this penalty. Looked like the Hornets were going to come on a blitz from the right side, and they just mistimed it.
Offsides. Defense. Number 45.
Got across and had to jump
the penalty
back,
is
but they
declined.
had encroached.
Result of the play
Penalty is
a first
declined.
down.
Richmond has the ball at the Delaware State 17-yard line.
Yeah, we had the
Hung it out there.
Right defensive end, right outside linebacker. They had some sort of blitz on. They were a little too excited and got a little bit out of position.
London Ellis was down there and made the catch. Now they run the play to the right side, breaking through and down inside the Delaware 10-yard line. Looked like the running back might have been stopped in the backfield, but he just kept dancing a little bit and got forward for a good positive gain. Zach Palmer Smith again, and that was good for 7 yards.
Yeah, Russ Hausman, the Richmond coach, is sort of like a boxer here. Jab, jab, jab with the run, looking for the big punch.
They'll run it again now down to the 5-yard line and tripped up there. Palmer Smith one more time. Years ago, worked with an announcer who loved to say, you dance with those who brought you. Zach Palmer Smith is bringing him downfield, so you keep dancing with him.
Well, he is. He's a guy who's gotten you nearly 5 yards, 4.9 a carry throughout the year, and they're going to ride that horse and see if they can get into the end zone. I'd like to see Delaware State rock an extra guy down here.
First and goal. Quarterback Coleman. Delayed handoff. They'll run through the middle and still surging forward, trying to get that extra yardage down just about to the 2 to make it second and goal for Richmond. They want to try to get those points back that they didn't get at the end of the first half when Delaware State made that key interception in the end zone.
And they'll want 7 here, right? So this is, with second down, this is definitely going to be 4-down territory. I can't imagine Richmond kicking the field goal. So as Delaware State, if you know that, there's a great opportunity if you can stop them on 2 to 3 plays here to get the momentum back.
Right again, it goes into the middle, and it's going to be touchdown Richmond. And the guy that took him down, Zach Palmer Smith, is into the end zone for the 2-yard touchdown for the Spiders. So this crowd that has come back from halftime, where a lot of people went and got refreshments, just kind of quiet here.
Well, if you think back, it's not the worst thing. They got the ball and they essentially held serve, to use a tennis analogy. But it's what makes that the interception at the end of the half even more important, right? Because then you get in a situation where you're out of reach. Delaware State's in the game. They make it, and it's 21 to 10 here if they make the extra point.
Aaron Trussler to try. His kick sure has the distance, and it is good. So they get the extra point. With 11:45 left in the third period here, Richmond takes the ball on the kickoff, starts from their 25-yard line. They go 75 yards for the score to make it 21 to 10 on Delaware State. So now the Hornets, let's see if they were able to regroup that offense in the locker room at halftime, get their poise back. They kind of lost it there at the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, they got to get back to some of the principles of the first quarter, which were just basic, right? Run between the tackles. You've had your biggest success there. And when you've done that, you've drawn in an extra defender or two, or at least changed the way that Richmond approaches it, and you've been able to pop up at times. So I'd love to see them establish the run, all right? And that's going to open up the other things that Lee Hall wants to do.
Ball fell off the tee for kicker Trussler. Hornets have two men back at their own 5-yard line to return this kickoff.
You know, their good drives have started with really nice returns. So we'll see if they can get a good return here and get some good field position.
Well, the last kickoff return was not a very good one. It led to the disaster and a player getting hurt. This one, good end-over-end kick. He taken it about the 2 or 3 yard line. And in catching the ball, he went down too low. His knee hit the ground. I think he called for a fair catch.
We may have had a fair catch there.
Yeah,
E.J.
okay.
Core, one of the veteran guys back there.
Called for the fair catch.
And, one of the things they didn't do last week. So heads-up play by a veteran player, E.J. Core there.
I knew something odd had to have happened because they were not spotting the ball at the 3 yard line, which would have been absolutely a disaster. They'll bring it out to the 25 and put it on the far side hash mark. Delaware State will come out in the backfield with quarterback Marquis Adams is going to be the running back Jaden Sutton. We haven't called his name many times tonight. Newspaper article this past week, he just wants the ball. He wants to run with it, and they'll give it to him. Has a little bit of an opening outside of the right tackle. He's still on his feet up to the 40-yard line. Broke a tackle at around the 35 and fell forward for 15 yards on the play.
Listen, Gary, I could use a bunch of jargon, and I could try to, break this down. And, listen, I've got a bunch of information in front of me. But at the end of the day, you got to be willing to run the football. And when you can run the football like that, I got to ask, why don't you just do it? Run the football.
Good-sized hole opened up there between the left guard and tackle for Sutton. He stays in the backfield. He'll get the call again, run to the right side behind the right tackle, pick up 3 to the Hornets' 43-yard line. Sutton might be able to bring some of that offensive spark that Delaware State needs right now. He's a hard running back.
Yeah, the best thing about running, Gary, is you have a tendency to go forward, right?
Yeah,
and so on the drives
much.
where Delaware State has failed, they've gone backwards, right? And I just think, everybody falls in love with the pass, but there's so many things that go wrong. You expose yourself to holding, a bunch of other timing. Run the football.
Sutton, an experienced ball player, graduate student, transferred last year from Lafayette. Here's quarterback Adams on the keeper.
Put the ball
up
away.
Across midfield, down to the 40-yard line, 35-yard line, 30-yard line, 20, 10. They tripped up just as he crossed the 15-yard line. He had a blocker down there, a wide receiver who was doing a great job in keeping the tackler from getting anywhere near the quarterback, Marquis Adams.
And I have no doubt that Lee Hall got in his quarterback's ear at halftime and said, hey, man, you're pretty good when you make decisions. And I'll tell you what, that's a pretty good play by a pretty good player right there.
Hurdled over one tackler down around midfield. Bryson Parker made the saving tackle as Adams was working his way to the end zone. Tripped him up. He went out of bounds at the 11. 1st and 10, Hornets.
Big play by your quarterback.
He hands it off. They'll run to the right side and pick up maybe a yard, but a lot of white jerseys in on that tackle on Sutton. Talking about Sutton, transfer out of Lafayette last year, came to the Hornets. He's a graduate student. He's a load to bring down, Don. He's 5'11", but he's 230 pounds.
He is. He's got that good low center of gravity, right? And he runs low. He runs with good, what we call good shoulder pad level, good pad level. And so I'd like to see it. But here you've got everything, right? So you've run the ball, and I've been hitting that refrain. But, there's all kind of things here. Maybe a RPO. Put your tight end in play. I'd love to see E.J. Core. So your whole playbook is here when you run the football.
3 split out on the right side, in tight on the left side, in tight on the right side. They'll throw into the middle.
There he
Touchdown,
is.
Hornets. Just a slant in pattern and perfectly thrown by Marquis Adams. And the Hornets.
Is that Jaden Jenkins? I'll tell you what, quick decision, good ball. Marquis Adams has thrown a couple of the best balls I've seen him since he's been at Delaware State tonight. He's really growing up before our eyes.
The throw into the middle. You're right. It was Jaden Jenkins on the catch.
Wow, we don't call his name much, but I tell you what, that's a heck of a time to make your first play tonight.
It's a notification to the coaching staff. Throw the ball to me more. I'll catch it. There is a player down for Richmond at around the 19-yard line. And so we will get a timeout here before the conversion attempt as they tend to the injured player, and we'll try to find out who it is while we take this break. It's Richmond 21, Delaware State 16. You're watching MEAC football. It's on ESPN Plus. You know that. You're also listening to HSRN. By Nathan Wilson, the left-footed kicker. His kick is up, and it is good.
Good operation.
So Wilson gets the Hornets the 17th point, and they are within a score of Richmond at 21-17 with 9 minutes, 7 seconds still to play in the third quarter. That drive keyed by that big run by the quarterback, Marquis Adams.
Yeah, I really like that. It's almost as if the coaching staff and I were on the same page there. We talked about thinking small, win this drive. Check, they won the drive. Talk about trusting your line. They ran the ball. Check, trust your line. And then quick decisions. Marquis Adams caps it off with a great touchdown. And it's really cool. It's really cool when you can make sort of your first play in a couple weeks. So Jaden Jenkins, the guy out of the Boogie Down Bronx with the touchdown there. Really excited for that young man.
He's probably pretty excited himself as he got that touchdown and brought the Hornets within 4. Water that replenishes you with every sip. B2L29 Premium Alkaline Water. There's a booming kick that is going to come down and stop inside the 5. The Spiders have to cover that one. And
good coverage.
That was great coverage by the kickoff team for Delaware State, but a mistake made by the Richmond return man. He thought that one was going to bounce into the end zone for the touchback, and it hit and started to just die there inside the 5. He had to pick it up and scramble with it. It was a live ball.
I'm sure the folks on television can see it, but for the people listening, the difference in the culture this year is visible, right? The way that guys fly down the field for the Hornets, the way the sidelines celebrate. This is exciting. This is the players that came on the recruiting visit and said, hey, yes, I want to be a Hornet. These are the games they wanted to play in, and so far they've stepped up to the challenge.
Here's the quarterback, Coleman, on first down, throwing to the left side and complete out there to Javion Griffin. And that bought them some running room. Moves the ball on a first down out to the Delaware State. Let's see where they're going to put it down at the Hornets. At the Richmond 22-yard line, 27-yard line.
Yeah, and that's not Richmond's game. So I think Lee Hall will live with that. If they want to throw those short passes, they'll say, great, see if you can go down the field short passing us.
Again, they'll go to the air, short pass, right side, and immediately hit after making the catch was London Ellis. Picked up 3 yards on the play, but good coverage on that play for Delaware State by Giovanni Fabian.
And just going back to that point, you think about it. The running's different. You're doing that for a purpose in between the tackles. Short passing, unless that's your system, like the air raid or run and shoot, you've got to do that 30 times to get down the field, right? And unless you're Washington State and Mike Leach, you're not really designed to do that. So I kind of think it means something when Delaware State makes them pass.
Screen pass over the head of the intended receiver, and that was a forward pass. As quickly Andrew King went to cover the ball, the running back, but that is an incompleted pass to make it 3rd down and 7. So now you can almost figure Coleman's going to go to the air.
Yeah, and so there's a game within the game, and Delaware State is winning that game. The fact that Richmond is passing so much means that they're being disruptive in between. And right now, the Delaware State sideline trying to get the crowd involved.
Coleman takes the snap out of the shotgun, throws right side. It's complete. It's going to be a 1st down. As the receiver just went down there 2 yards past the mark, turned around, and there was the ball, well-thrown ball by Coleman. And that was a timing pattern, too, out there to Ellis, because that ball was in the air before he turned around.
Yeah, good coverage by Giovanni Fabian there. You may say, hey, tighten up. They've hit that 3 or 4 times, but you can't do that, right? That's when you get the pump and go. They set you up for something deep. They've showed that. So right now, keep the game in front of you if you're the Hornets.
And that was man coverage, so you can't let the guy get past you. Pass. Just a little bit low. Trying to go down and make the catch was Kwanye Venny. And that ball just slipped out of his hand, bounced off the ground. He tried to play it like, well, I can pick this up and run, can't I? And the answer to that is no.
Yeah,
you can't.
I guess I continue to be surprised with the amount of times that Richmond's looking to pass, right? I mean, you watch them play Virginia, an ACC team, and they're willing to run, and tonight they're just not willing to stick to the run.
Not a team that has passed a lot in their previous 3 games. Now Coleman to the air again, has time, throws over the middle, wide open was Ellis. Ellis to the Hornets 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. Right across the middle, and that is where Coleman has been killing Delaware State tonight, right across the middle, that open zone, and they're not covering in there. Nobody's staying in that area, and they're paying the penalty.
Yeah, and that's got to be what we consider to be, if we're a Hornet fan tonight, that's the unforgivable sin, right? You've seen that 5 times, right? When you're in a zone, you've got to have someone across the middle. All right, all they're doing is sending guys up the field with a cross, and Delaware State has not shown the ability to defend that. If Richmond wants to throw, they could throw that on every play.
Ellis came from the right side. There were 2 defenders over there. Both of those defenders stayed with a wide receiver and let Ellis come into the middle all by himself. The extra point kick is good, and Richmond now goes up by 4 touchdowns and 4 extra points, 28-17 on Delaware State. An 11-point lead, but plenty of time left here at Alumni Stadium, 7:12 to play. Richmond 28, Delaware State 17. You're watching MEAC football. It's on ESPN Plus, putting the U in HBCU. We're HSRN. Spiders picking up a lead there on the touchdown. And the extra point now with an 11-point lead on Delaware State. But there's a lot of time left in this football game. 7:20 or 7:12 to play from Dover, Delaware. I'm Gary Lang. Don Morton in the press box. And Delaware State is about to get the ball for the second time here in the third period. Good end-over-end kick will be taken at the 3. Take it around to the left side, looking for some running room. Turning upfield, and just caught right about at the 20-yard line. Like
Maybe Marquise
Gillis on the return.
Yeah, trying to make a play.
Yep. Brought it out to the 20-yard line.
Well, listen, it reminds me of a line from a movie. I won't mention the movie, and I definitely can't say the whole line, but, it goes something like, I'm not quite the guy you can't do something to. And what I want to say about this is, this isn't quite a must-score drive, but it's close. Mm-hmm. It's close. And so, you'd like points here. With a kicker with a live leg, you take 3, make it a one-score game, but you definitely need to go in the positive direction here. You can't go backwards.
And remember, this Hornet team, in the game that they've won this year, came from behind on Sacred Heart in the second half. So we know it's a team that'll put up a struggle on that play. There's just too many white jerseys around there. How many would-be tacklers in on that? 4 or 5 on that carry by Sutton.
Yeah, they're keying in on the run now. And again, we talked about this in the first quarter. That's okay.
Soften them up a little bit,
That's
though.
right. If you play chess, think about sacrificing pawns. Sometimes it's okay. What you're really setting up is to take that queen in a couple plays. So the thing I like so much about what Delaware State's done tonight is they've forced Richmond to do some uncharacteristic things. So that running play is okay because you're playing chess and not checkers.
Second down and 10. Maybe even loss of a half a yard. Here's Adams. Nowhere to go with it. Couldn't find anybody open, and there were a lot of people in that backfield. Now, he managed to squirt ahead for a yard and a half. Delaware State will have a 3rd and 9 from their own 21.
Marquis Adams there, little bit of hesitation. It's like it's the name of the game for him. When he makes those quick decisions, he's such an explosive athlete, right? Then when he just decides to get upfield, I think he left 2 or 3 yards on the field there just by being a little bit indecisive. So make that decision, man, and get upfield.
Because if you see a hole and you have to think about it, by the time you've thought, yeah, I'm going to run through it, they've closed it. Adams on 3rd and 9. Pressure again. He's going to take it around the left side. Got tripped up from behind. Looked like he had some running room, but a good tackle made. Jeremiah Grant, the defensive lineman, dove and reached out and got Adams right around the ankles.
That's that decisive decision, and he's a shoelace, something on a shoe away from a lot of green space up that left-hand sideline. So, listen, not an ideal drive. All right, but we said it's maybe around the time when you have to score, not a must score. All right, but they went the right direction, and now you got to kick and play defense.
Adams only got a yard, but it looked like he was going to get a whole lot more. Good play by Grant. Hornets to punt. Return man standing at the Richmond 42-yard line. This punt is high, and it went out of bounds. Looked like it kind of went off the punter's side of his foot. So Schwera, his punt ruled out of bounds at the Delaware State 47-yard line. And when we return, Richmond will have the ball, 1st and 10, for the 3rd time this evening in Delaware State territory. And 1 out of 2 of the first times, they went down and scored. So we have the break here. We'll take it as well. This is MEAC football on ESPN Plus, putting the U in HBCU. This is HSRN. Richmond has the ball back at the Delaware State 47-yard line after the punt that went out of bounds, and they keep the ball on the ground right here. Going to be close to a first down as they take it across the Delaware State 40 to the 38-yard line. That's a 9-yard pickup.
So your special teams has put you a little bit behind the 8 ball there, sort of their first demerit of the day if we're sort of grading on that report card. But look, the defense has to respond. They're in a similar position to the Hornets offense, right? Not a must stop, but you would love to stop them here. You can give up 3. I don't think you can give up 7.
Another carry by Zach Palmer-Smith. He'll get the call again, spins, and gets taken down at the 33-yard line. That'll be good for a Spiders first down.
And I think that's what you're going to get. You're going to get run, run, run. And they're going to see if they can get somebody to creep up, and they're going to see if they can take a shot over that soft middle.
And at this point, even though there are 4 minutes left in the third quarter, you just have to start thinking about what it's doing with the clock you're down by 11.
You do. And, you can bend a little bit, but you can't break. You got to try not to give points up here if you're the Hornets.
Go with the guy who's working hard and getting it done. That is Palmer-Smith one more time to the Hornets' 29-yard line, a pickup of 4. So that will give Richmond a second down and 6. And they just keep coming back and really running behind that center and right guard on the past 3 plays. Coleman calls for the ball. He hands it off once more. This time the Hornets make a hit at the line of scrimmage. The ball carrier fighting his way for a couple of additional yards.
Yeah, Zach Palmer-Smith's a tough dude between the tackles. I mean, there were probably 2 to 3 Hornets that met him in the hole, and he was still able to push forward. So, listen, you're going to trust the guys that have been around. He's a junior. He's got a track record. And so this is where the coach is really going to start leaning on the guys that have been there and done that.
Palmer-Smith had earned a breather. That was Andrew King on that. Number 8. Looks like a 9 when they unstack. Pass is going to be ruled incomplete. A diving attempt made by wide receiver London Ellis. He was looking for the ball inside. He dove, caught it outside. Was that Smith? No, it wasn't. That was Javion Griffin who made that attempt, and it looked like he hurt his hand or wrist when he made that dive for the ball.
This sets up a decision, but I actually think there's no decision here. I think that Russ Huseman is probably going to go for this here, 4th and 4.
Even if you turn the ball over, you're giving it to Delaware State inside their own 30.
Sure, you can't jump if you're the Hornets here. You got to look for them trying to make you jump.
And the snap. Coleman throwing left side. It's picked off.
Favors.
Delaware State with an interception. The second of the game for the Hornets, and that was huge. Stepping in front of the receiver. He played that one beautifully, and both times on the interception, it looked like the defender read the eyes of the quarterback.
It's my man Wayne Favors. I've been a fan of him from the first time I've seen him, just his technique. That, when you watch this one, it's the break on the ball. All interceptions aren't created equal. Sometimes quarterbacks throw bad ball. That was a really nice pass, and that's just Wayne Favors locking in, taking that drop step, and exploding on the ball. So twice, Delaware State defensive backs have made big plays to keep them in a game.
And on that one, just like the other one, Favors was able to make the break on the ball because he knew there was other coverage out there. If he didn't get it, it was going to be a first down for Richmond, but not a touchdown.
Absolutely. Hey, you live to fight another series, but I'll tell you what, I've been really impressed with the ability to make the big plays at the right times for the veteran Delaware State Hornet players.
Now let's see if the Hornets can take advantage of that turnover they created. Adams hands it off. Sutton, left side, tried to turn it upfield, and he'll fight for a couple of yards out to around the 28 or 29-yard line. We'll wait to see where they set the ball down. The line of scrimmage was the 27.
Yeah, sometimes I wonder. I'd love to know huddle myself. I think there's something about tempo. You've heard me call for it. But I just wonder sometimes, is there something missing from interpersonal communication in the huddle, right? I'd love to get my linemen together and say, hey, listen, let's push them down the field right now.
2nd down and 8 after the 2-yard pickup by Jaden Sutton. Misdirection. And Adams to throw. Across the middle, complete. Across the 50-yard line and dragged down at the 45-yard line of Richmond. Christian Tate with his second catch of the night.
Yeah, this is when you speak very kindly of your offensive line right there. They bought Marquis Adams a couple extra seconds there. And I'll tell you what, they'll do that when you complete passes like that. So the trust is starting to be built between the Hornets again, right? We saw that a little missing last week, but the trust is back.
I like the 5-letter word poised, too. Adams stayed poised in there with some pressure around him. And then they used the weapon that Richmond has been using all night, the pass across the middle. 1st and 10, Delaware State at the Richmond 45-yard line. Adams rolls left side, completes the pass inside the 40-yard line. And a nice cutback move inside to get that pass. Completion, Christian Tate has 2 in a row now.
So look, when you run the ball effectively, right, and that could mean 2 or 3 yards, now you can pop up. This is what I've been talking about. It's late in the game. Now you can pop up on first down and catch people asleep a little bit. But I got to tell you, Marquis Adams is growing up right in front of our eyes here tonight.
8-yard gain. You can find a very large section in every playbook on things you can do on 2nd and 2. Adams, lone back in the backfield, has receivers on both sides. They'll put it on the ground and try to work for the first down. And they're going to come up just a little bit short. Second effort, the whistle finally blows, and they might have the first down. Initially, they were stopped, but the officials let it keep going because there was movement both directions. Now it depends on where they put the football down. They have to get to the 35. Is the nose of the football going to touch the 35? No, it's just about the length of a football short. 3rd down, less than a yard to go.
The 4-down territory for the Hornets, so everything is available. If he wants to pop up and throw here, that's fine. You got 4th and short.
I like the idea of play action here because I think they're going to try to stack it up in the middle. This time they try to go over top. Sutton trying to dive over top. He didn't make it. I don't think he made it unless he stretched the ball out. The official coming from the near side, setting the mark, the line judge.
All depends on the spot, and in 25 years of football, I've never really come up with a way to determine where the ball's going to end up. Seems like there's just a little bit of play there out there.
Well, we've come to the end of the 3rd quarter, 15 minutes to play. Richmond up by 11 right now, 28-17. And when we return, we'll know exactly what Delaware State faces, but I think they didn't get the first down. You're watching MEAC Football on ESPN Plus, putting the U in HBCU. We're HSRN. they're going to go.
There it
the
is.
Quarterback didn't go straight ahead. He came over and ran behind the left guard and got the running room and got the first down.
If you're listening,
but the left guard is down after the play.
If you're listening and not watching, well, even if you're watching, you can't see me. I'm smiling almost in a way I haven't smiled.
I will witness he is smiling.
Yeah, listen, I think you could go shotgun 99 plays. I get it. It's 2024. But if you can't take 15 minutes during the week to practice going under center, the same thing that we all did as 5- and 6-year-old football players, I just don't understand. I've never understood it. So kudos to the Delaware State coaching staff because, guys, they don't just show up and run that. That means they practice that. And I'll tell you what, you practice it for 25 minutes to run it once, you're right in the game now. They don't get that. You know, I was trying to figure out how to say it, but, you know, let's just say it would have been an uphill battle.
Bernard, who was shaken up there, I believe offensive lineman Gabriel Wilkins. I thought I was seeing a 65 on his jersey.
Remember how you got here. Don't be afraid to run the ball, even if it doesn't seem like you're getting a lot. 2 yards is 2 yards in the right direction, and you're getting close to field goal range, all right, and that makes it a one-score game.
I'll correct myself. That 6 was an 8. It's Malcolm Jeffries. He walked off under his own power. First down, Delaware State. Adams fakes the handoff. He's going to throw. Has to scramble. Right side. Got away from trouble. Pulls up. Wants to throw. Penalty marker down in the backfield. And he throws it to the sideline. Got rid of it. Made a good decision. Just could not find anyone open anywhere. But where that penalty marker was thrown from, it looks like it's...
There is no foul for intentional grounding. The quarterback got outside the pocket, got the ball to the line of scrimmage. During the play, holding, offense number 78. It's a 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
Kenyon Camphor, the offensive lineman, for holding to move the ball back now to the Richmond 42-yard line. The Hornets have to get up to the 22. So a 10-yard penalty.
And the offensive line's been pretty solid tonight. There's no offensive line that's designed to protect for that long. I mean, again, we've talked about at times he's looked like one of the best players in the country, and then there are plays like that where he sort of takes a step back and is indecisive, and you open yourself up to holding calls. So let's see those quick decisions from Marquis Adams here on this drive.
It's still first down, 1st and 20. Adams from the gun. He'll hand it off to Jaden Sutton. Sutton looks to the right side, finds a little bit of an opening, takes it up to the 35-yard line. Found that hole quickly. They closed it up on him as he came across the line of scrimmage, but he didn't take long once he saw a bit of a gap.
Really smart play call by Lee Hall there, right? There's a tendency when you see, big numbers at the end of the down marker to maybe think you have to throw or do something special and, get back to basics. You've been getting big chunks of yard most of the time when you run the football.
That got 7 yards, so it's 2nd down and 13 for Delaware State. Adams brings him up to the line of scrimmage again. Sutton stays in the backfield with Marquis Adams. Snap. Fake handoff to Sutton. Adams comes forward. He'll run with the football. Has some room down the sideline to the 20, the 15, and runs out of bounds around the Richmond 15-yard line. He made the quick decision that time, and it paid off again.
Yeah, listen, I'm a fan of this young man. This is not a critique. It's just, I think
reality.
I would coach him up. Listen, when you make good decisions, you look at times like the best player on the football field. All right? I want you to look like the best player on the football field. And on that play, he looked like the best player on the football field.
Didn't stand there looking for anybody. Pressure was there a bit. Looks like he went out of bounds right around the 15-yard line. And indeed, that's where the ball is, the line of scrimmage at the Spiders' 15-yard line, 1st and 10, Delaware State, as they're trying to cut down this 11-point difference. Now we have a whistle as they're set, and Delaware State's going to call a timeout. They want to adjust to what Richmond has on the field defensively. So we'll take the break here. Richmond 28, Delaware State 17. You're watching MEAC football on ESPN Plus, putting the U in HBCU. We're HSRN. very worthwhile at the game in 2 weeks, homecoming afternoon here at Delaware State. Hornets with a 1st and 10 at the 15-yard line. Went with an end around, and it's going to pick up some yardage down inside the 10-yard line. And now a penalty marker comes from the end zone. Hornets acting like they got in for the touchdown.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think you're going to see one of the few flags of the game, and it didn't look like a lot was in it. And we might get our first, oh, my gosh.
It was Kyrie Benton,
holding,
wide receiver, coming
offense,
around.
You know, if they call the hold,
it's a 10-yard penalty.
Gillies there on the outside linebacker that probably outweighs him by 40 pounds. And I think it says more about the athlete than the actual hold there. That's a shame.
That'll move the ball back to the Richmond 20-yard line, where the Hornets will have a 1st and 15.
And just to go back to that, if you're the Richmond linebackers coach, that's a little secret. That's actually what they'll be talking about this week. Like, I saw the holding call, but if you ever let a running back drive you back like that, yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about the future. But, hey, what you really hate about that is that's another special play. You put that in during the week, and you kind of can't come back to that. So it's unfortunate for Delaware State.
Adams has a back in the backfield, fakes the handoff, rolls right side, little dump pass.
And it looked like number 7 had him in a complete bear hug there.
Matthew Traynor for Richmond. Incomplete pass, makes it 2nd down and 15.
All right, so sort of back to the conversation, and more, maybe even for me rather than Delaware State, is you kind of got to put things like that out of sight, out of mind. In the next 12 minutes and 17 seconds, there are going to be some things you have to overcome. Right, they're going to be losses of yards. They're going to be penalties that you don't agree with. But at the end of the day, all right, both teams deal with it, and you have to respond. So it's 2nd down and long here, and right now the first thing is to get the 1st down.
I'm sure Adams would love to go end zone on this, but he doesn't have enough time. He had to dump that one off, and it's going to lose yardage if it was a completed pass. Dumped it off to a back in the backfield who was hit immediately by 2 Richmond players. That'll be a loss of 4 to make it 3rd down and 19.
If they're Hornets, you need to take a collective deep breath here. All right, you're doing some good things, and for 2 plays, maybe things haven't worked out. So you got to remember how you got here, right? You look up at the scoreboard, you see the situation. You look at the down markers. How did you get here? All right, you need to move forward here. All right.
One thing disturbing here, Don, is that the Hornets are taking a long time to get this play set.
Yeah, can't be afraid to call your timeout here.
Play clock's down to 2 seconds. They're going to have to call a timeout. And they have to burn a timeout there because they took too long to get the play in, and everybody was walking on the field like it was a timeout. You've got to show something when you're down by 11 in the 4th quarter, even though there's 11 and a half minutes to play in the game. You've got to have a little bit of energy out there, and they just seemed so lethargic when I looked at the play clock and saw it was down to 5, and they weren't anywhere near set at the line of scrimmage. All right, we have a timeout called by Delaware State. We'll take the break, too. You're watching MEAC football on ESPN+, putting the U in HBCU. This is HSRN. plays the game all the time. Can't remember ever seeing him go under center except for the victory formation. They'll run the football. Big cut on the left side. Inside, found some running room and down to the 10-yard line for Delaware State.
Ooh-wee.
They're going to be faced with a 4th down and 5.
I think they're going to kick here. I'll tell you what, Jaden Sutton's not done playing tonight.
No. Sutton was really determined to try to get that yardage. He got 14 of it for the Hornets. Now they'll try for a field goal that would bring them within 8.
Got to have this one if you're the Hornets. Cuts it down to a 1-score game.
The kick is up.
Deflection.
It is no good. Must time to get a field goal through, and it didn't make it. Nathan Wilson missing that one, and that was a short one.
Yeah, I didn't get the number. It looked like we might have had a deflection at the line of scrimmage. I mean, Delaware State so far this year has looked much improved in terms of special teams in the operation, but all it takes is sort of one letdown, and unfortunately there might have been a letdown in terms of the protection.
Well, that one's going to hurt. They needed that to get within 8. Cush College is a proud supporter of HBCU sports. You can find them on the web, cushcollege.com. Turnover on downs to Richmond. 1st and 10 from their own 19-yard line. They'll run the ball, clear it out past the 25-yard line. Just some good hard running and a good surge by the offensive line.
Hornets getting a little lucky there. You had a late arriving player there on the defensive line, so they're sort of lucky not to get exposed there by not having 11, having 10 there up until the very end of that play.
You can play with 10, you can't play with 12. So, pickup of 6 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 4. The stop made, initial stop made at the line of scrimmage. The ball carrier may have gotten up to the where he did not lose any yardage on the carry, and that was Zach Palmer-Smith.
So this is another gut check play, Gary. This is another time when somebody's got to make a play.
3rd and 4. Watch out here, though. Camden Coleman may decide to go to the air here on 3rd and 4. Make sure we got people in the middle. Coleman throwing toward the sideline. It is complete. It's going to be a 1st down as he got his wide receiver, Landon Ellis, who was immediately hit but held on to the football out at the 35-yard line.
Yeah, that time Favors, I think, got caught in a little bit of sort of no man's land, right? You've got to watch the double move here. Richmond's shown that they will go deep, so he has to respect that. So he goes about a half step late on the break there, but still really sure tackling. Keep everything in front of you if you're Delaware State right now.
They set the line of scrimmage at the Spiders' 32-yard line. Coleman, draw play, rolls right side, fake the handoff, and that pass well off the mark as he was trying to get it out to the wide receiver, London Ellis, on the right side. No chance for Ellis to catch that.
Yeah, we'll take that. Defensively, we'll take any time the clock stops. Anytime the clock stops, because not only are you playing Richmond Spiders right now, you're playing against time. You know, you've got to get the ball back at least 2 times to give yourself a shot. All right, so anytime you can get the clock stopped, it's a good thing.
Barry Wagner was out there on coverage. He has 1 interception tonight. 2nd down and 10, quick pass, left side, complete. Poignet Venny, and Venny is going to get up to around the 45, 46-yard line to get the Spiders another 1st down. They'll put it at the 45. So they're eating up field here. They're also eating up time. We're down to 8:42 remaining in the football game. Delaware State missing that field goal remains down by 11. They could have gotten within a touchdown and a 2-point conversion.
Yeah, but look for Richmond to be much more deliberate, right? They're going to try to take as much of the play clock as they can on each play.
You bet. Coleman now rolling right side, throwing downfield, complete, and over the middle again. They've been hurting the Hornets all night, and it's Jerry Garcia who's really run that pattern well for Richmond. Got down to the Delaware State 23-yard line, and Richmond now just outside the red zone with a 1st down.
Well, and I could see the defensive coaches right now yelling the right thing, right? Hey, that play's behind us. All right, if you can still keep them to a field goal here, again, essentially bend but don't break, you're still in the same situation, right? We don't think in terms of points as coaches. All right, we think in terms of scores. So as long as you can keep this a 2-score game, you're in good shape.
Quick pass, screen pass to the right side, and Hornets covered that one well. Wide receiver Venny just took a step back from the line of scrimmage, took that pass, and the Hornets stopped it for no gain. 2nd and 10.
Again, keep the game in front of you if you're the Hornets. All right, the only yard line that matters is that goal line right now. Okay, they can't score a touchdown. That essentially sort of puts you almost in an unrecoverable situation. So keep the game in front of you and be sure tacklers.
Draw play. 2nd down. They'll give it up the middle to Palmer Smith. Zach Palmer Smith. Good for maybe a yard. Looking on the far sideline where they have the sticks, and I don't see that yardage, the down marker moving forward. It's 3rd and 10. 2 plays in a row there where Delaware State made good stops for no gain. Richmond comes to the line of scrimmage quickly. They have to. They get their people out there because then the quarterback looks to the sideline to get the play. All that has gone on, and they're just down to the 5-second mark on the play clock. And now we have a timeout.
For the half.
Richmond called it?
Yep.
Yep. Looked like they were just a little bit questioning there and moved a little bit too slow. The play clock got down to 5 seconds, and they said, we don't want to give up 5 yards. So they called the timeout. We'll call the timeout, too, with Richmond leading over Delaware State 28-17. You're watching MEAC football. It's on ESPN+. Putting the U in HBCU. We are HSRN. On 3rd down and 10. Campbell throwing end zone. It is
He dropped it.
Incomplete. He dropped it. Another dropped pass that would have been a touchdown.
Well, that's the third big drop of the day. And again, the only thing I can think is just that this is not what they do, right? They're a running football team, all right? And we're not exaggerating. The stats bear it out, their reputation, sort of what Coach Huseman wants to be. So, hey, amazing break for the Hornets because, again, not only do they stop them, but the clock stops.
London Ellis dropped that one. Now it will be a 40-yard field goal attempt.
Even with the make, again, you're still in a 2-score game, so essentially nothing changes other than you need 2 touchdowns instead of a touchdown and a field goal.
This kick is up, and it's through the uprights. That hurts some. Now it's a 14-point game, so it's a 2-score game with 6:07 left. 31-17 becomes the score after the field goal. And a reminder, 2 weeks from tonight at homecoming, Delaware State University Athletics is going to dedicate that game to the breast cancer awareness. At that game, they'll be recognizing alums of Delaware State who are breast cancer survivors or are under treatment for breast cancer. The courage. If you are either one of those categories and you want to participate, go to dsuaa@alumni.com. God bless you.
All right, so I'll tell you, what you can't do is you can't worry about the scoreboard. All right, what you have to do is score on this drive. It's a must-score drive. We can finally say that with a capital M. So it starts with a good return here. Make sure you have good field position, no mistakes here, and then come out and do what you've been doing when it's been working.
Will McManus boots it. It's going to be toward the sideline. Fair catch called for and made at the 3. That's a good call.
Really good decision. You can tell they've talked about this,
this
during the week in practice. Last week, I thought they made some questionable choices with where we decided to sort of catch the ball and bring it out. So remember, you can fair catch it outside of the end zone now, live to play the next down.
Timothy Scott, the wide receiver, making the fair catch. So by making that fair catch, it's the same effect as a touchback. It'll bring the ball out to the 25-yard line for the Hornets to set it up with 6 minutes, 7 seconds to play, down by 2 touchdowns, 2 extra points.
Yeah, you might be surprised. I still think you have to be willing, maybe not every down, but you have to still be willing to mix in the run here.
And the quarterback, Adams, has some time. Fires, complete. Almost broke the tackle at the 40-yard line, too. Didn't give it up as soon as he made the catch. And that's Jordan Hull with his first catch of the night. That's a big one. Moves the ball out to the 42-yard line. 17-yard pickup on the play.
And when he's decisive, not only do good things happen, I mean, he's a really good quarterback, a thrower of the football. I know we know him primarily as a runner, but he throws a really nice ball when given the time by the line, which they've given him, and he makes the quick decision.
Sutton was being covered pretty tightly there, too, so it had to be right on the mark. Marquis Adams takes the snap on first down, throwing again. This one out of the hands of his intended receiver. And it looked like I've got Malcolm Jeffries, normally as an offensive lineman. Was the intended receiver there at number 85, unless they've switched some uniform numbers on us. But he was not able to pull that one in.
All right, so not the worst thing when you have an incompletion because the clock stops.
Jeffries looks like he may have been converted to a tight end. He's setting up there on that right side as if he were a tight end. 2nd down and 10. Now Marquis Adams looking downfield, wants to throw, steps up. He's going deep. And we're going to have pass interference. 2 flags come flying. That is definitely pass interference as the Hornets went for it. And Richmond, the only thing they could do to stop the play, Trey Tomlinson on coverage.
Defense, number 20.
Reached out.
15 yards
and
from the
committed
previous
pass
spot.
Interference, and the Hornets will get a 15-yard step off here and a first down.
Yeah, credit to the offensive line there. They gave Marquis Adams time to sort of scan the field. A slow-developing sort of one-man route, and Del State gets a break. So, again, that's why you can't get too bent out of shape about any one call, right? You're upset about a call. 5 minutes later, the call's going to go the other way. What you have to do is just execute what you practiced during the week. And right there, that's a case of really good execution. Not the catch, but it sets you up for a penalty, and you keep moving the ball down the field.
It's a low percentage play on the catch anyway, but you've moved the ball 15 yards to the Richmond 43-yard line as a result of the penalty. Now Adams going to the air again, has a little bit of time. Pressure from the back. He's going deep downfield through the hands of his intended receiver. How many times have we seen the ball go through people's arms tonight?
More times than you'd like to see.
Especially, one more than we wanted to see. Since
is.
that one was a Dell State receiver, and it was Jordan Hull. He was about 4 yards behind the defender, making his step into the end zone when that ball went through his arms.
Yeah, I think Marquis Adams had choices. I think Delaware State caught them sleeping a little bit there. Maybe a little bit of a double move there. Jordan Hull will be sick, all right, with that when he looks at the film. But I'll tell you what, that does kind of open some things up. I'd love to see maybe Delaware State hit him with a little draw play or a screen here and see if they're just not bailing at this point.
2nd down and 10. Adams again drops back. He's going to step forward. He got caught in the backfield. He's going to be spun around and dragged down. Jeremiah Grant made the penetration for the Spiders as Adams stepped forward to try to cross the line of scrimmage. Grant grabbed a hold of some jersey and spun him around. It's going to be a loss of 5 on that play.
Yeah, Richmond able to get some penetration there for one of the first times in the game. We mentioned Delaware State's done a good job protecting Marquis Adams. And look, he's trying to hang in the pocket and let the play develop. And they've just got to do a little better job of protecting him, especially right here during crunch time.
Now it's 3rd down and 15 with the ball just on the Richmond side of midfield at the 48-yard line.
You got to get a chunk here on 3rd. You can't try to get it all back here. See what you can do to set yourself up for 4th and manageable.
2 backs in the backfield try to help out a little bit with passing as Adams is going deep. Down to the end zone. Touchdown, Hornets! Had to wait for the call from the official, but it is a Hornet touchdown. Diving catch, Kyrie Benton.
Marquis Adams with I thought he had the throw of his career in the first half, but I tell you what, he's one-upped himself there, and Delaware State's right back into it. Heck of a throw by Marquis Adams, maybe even a better route in the catch there.
What I also like what I saw there, they were starting to celebrate in the end zone. They got out of bounds and started coming down the sideline. They did not want to get penalized for celebrating.
It's those subtle differences. You can see Lee Hall starting to have his culture, the culture that he wants to create here at Delaware State. And Gary, you're right. Little things like that make the difference. Good for the Hornets.
Now they'll drive for the extra point to try to pull within 7 with 4:09 to play. The spot, the kick. It's good. So the Hornets now within a touchdown and an extra point of tying this game up. What an effort tonight, and what a pass. That was a 48-yard touchdown pass to Kyrie Benton. Beautifully placed right on the money.
We said Delaware State had to bring the same intensity they brought out to Hawaii, the same intensity that they played with in the second half against Sacred Heart, and they've answered the call, and they're in a football game, right? So 31-24, 4 minutes left. This is what everybody wanted to see tonight. This is why you play football.
Want to take advantage of mortgage rates coming down? You need a mortgage? Call America's Mortgage Coach John Millette, 1-866-409-9000. Well, if you have somewhere to go right now, I hope you have the HSRN app so that you can follow along here wherever you go. Keep it on your phone as the Hornets kick off. Do you go for the onside kick with 4 minutes left?
It crossed my mind, but I think you just play straight up. Your defense has kept you in this game. I think you got to trust them here.
Well, they go. They kick it down to the 2-yard line. Brought up the left side and upended, spinning as he crosses the 20-yard line on the return. And I think that return was by Jerry Garcia Jr.
That's good. That's good culture stuff. Look at these guys run on and off of the field. Look at the sideline. They're excited about playing the game of football. That's a cultural turn, and that's a credit to Lee Hull and his staff.
They know they're still in this thing with 4 minutes left.
And look, it's not like they've gotten anything, right? They've made their own luck, right? They have fought, and they've been right on enough plays where they've put themselves in position to win. And that's what we say. It's one of the biggest cliches in the sport. You just want to be in the position to have a chance to win the football game.
Now Campbell sets his team up. Camden Coleman. Hornets stack it up at the line of scrimmage and make the stop for no gain. This time, Zach Palmer-Smith does not run through the Hornets.
Yeah, I'd love to give somebody credit for that, but the truth is there's 6 sky blue helmets around the ball. This is really this is inspiring football by the Hornets, and they need to keep it up here on the next play. They've got to protect this deep third, though, because I have a feeling that Richmond's going to want to come back and see if they can exploit that one more time.
Second down, 9. Gain of about a half a yard, but they're going to call it 2nd and 9. Hornets, they've got the ears pinned back. They're coming after the quarterback.
Got to have somebody in the deep middle third.
Throwing left side. It's complete. And this one is London Ellis. He dives forward, picks up the first down out to the 34-yard line. Surprises me that Richmond is putting the ball up in the air and not just trying to keep it on the ground and use up clock here. We've gone under 3 minutes.
Well, I think the only thing I can think, and I think the game bears it out, is I don't think that they believe in their running game right now. I think Delaware State has done enough. But do you think about first down?
Do you risk throwing the ball in this kind of a situation when you've been intercepted twice already?
No, I agree. I think it's just a credit to Delaware State and how stout they've been up front.
First down and 10 for the Spiders from the 34. They'll go with a draw play this time, straight ahead, and nothing.
There it is. I mean, I agree with you. I expected to come in here and see Richmond put up 200, 250 yards today. But listen, this is Delaware State, right? There's no magic happening here. These guys have a good game plan, and they've been stout up front. Richmond can't run the football between the tackles.
Delaware State calling a timeout there, stopping the clock with 2:22 to play in this game. Devane Insurance Company is a proud supporter of Delaware State athletics. Call and get a quote. 302-838-3803 as they serve Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, D.C., and New Jersey. Again, Hornets on the road next week down at Campbell, who they played here last year. And then 2 weeks from today, we'll be back with you on HSRN from Alumni Stadium and Homecoming. I mean, early. Could be, if you want to get a good place to park and a good seat, you might be considering breakfast on the campus. Second down and 9 for the Richmond Spiders. Again, draw play through the middle. Couple of yards and squirted through for a little bit more. Thought he was stopped after 2 yards, but he managed to break through and pick up a little bit more out to the 41-yard line on the carry again. Zach Palmer-Smith.
Yeah, Palmer-Smith that time, he's not waiting on his linemen, right? Look, they're not winning the battle up front, and he's like, sometimes, running back feels like they got to take it on their own, and he just, with a second effort there, made nothing into something. So we've got an exciting third down coming up again in what's become a really good football game.
That gets us to our 2-minute timeout. We have just 120 seconds left in this football game. Richmond 31, Delaware State 24. You are watching MEAC football on ESPN+. You're listening, putting the U in HBCU. We're HSRN. we go, 2 minutes left, and it's 3rd down and 3 for Richmond.
It's a backyard play, Gary. This is the one you imagine when you're 7, 8 years old in the backyard, right? Whether you're on offense or defense, you want to get the first, stop the first. This is what it's all about.
Hornets showing blitz. They come up to the line of scrimmage. Now, quarterback Camden Coleman.
What you
Slows
can't do is
things down, looks to the sideline as they may be changing the play at the line of scrimmage. Down to 7 minutes on the play clock here as he steps back in the shotgun, and I think Richmond's going to burn another timeout.
definitely. Sorry, Gary, there. I just wanted to say you can't jump there. That's the one thing that can't happen.
Just by coming up and showing blitz, kind of threw Richmond off their pace of what they wanted to do there. Even if you weren't going to blitz.
Yeah, I mean, Delaware State defensively has looked as good as I've seen them this year. Some of it's just the effort of the players, but, you also have to sort of give some kudos to the game plan. So Coach Darrell Wilson there, really good game plan. He's got motivated players, but, a lot of this is drawn up. And right there, I think you're exactly right, Gary. I think they showed a look they haven't shown. They showed a couple blitzing A-gappers. And so Richmond feels like they had to use the timeout. So good stuff tonight from Delaware State, particularly the defense.
Still is 3rd down and 3. Hard angle to look at from here to see how many timeouts Richmond has left, and I can't tell. On 3rd and 3, they'll run the football, and they've got the first down as they go across midfield, and a breakaway there. Down to the 20, 15, 10, touchdown Spiders. As they go 59 yards for the touchdown run out the left side.
Very quickly out of the timeout. In fact, I have the thought here that maybe they actually weren't set out of the timeout. You actually have to be set for a second there, and it didn't look like that they might have been. But anyway, Delaware State caught asleep, and, that's a play where they had to be awake. And unfortunately, if this play stands, which it looks like it is, it's almost too much of an uphill battle at this point.
Hornets player down in the end zone as a result of a late tackle attempt. And I on the opposite side of the field and down in a corner that's a little bit dark, trying to pick up the ball carrier. For some reason, I think it was number 3, Quanye Vinay, who's listed as a wide receiver. So that could have been a little bit of a gadget play that they ran on Delaware State.
It could have been, and sometimes, you're selling out on 3rd and short there. And, look, Richmond made a play, right? So Richmond made a big play. We had some big plays by Delaware State players, and that's how it goes. But, in any event, I think there'll be some things. Look, Delaware State's probably tired of losing. The players at this point are probably like, we're tired of losing. But there are going to be some positives they can take from this.
So the player who remained down on the field, I'm going to guess that it's that time of the evening, warm muscles, cool evening, and looks like he might have cramped up, limping just a bit as he comes to the Hornets sideline. The extra point kick is good. And the player for Delaware State who was shaken up, the defensive back, Jaden Estes, he is stretching his leg muscles out on the sideline. So my guess of a Charlie horse or a cramp probably is going to pay off. Richmond now up 38-24, 14-point lead on Delaware State.
So it's like, how do you want to finish the game at this point, right? And unfortunately, they've already had to have this discussion probably too many times this year. But, how do you want to finish this game? There's a minute 47 on the clock, and I think, everything starts with small victories, all right? Let's first receive the kick, all right? Let's get our offense on the field and see if we can score. Of course, now you can't run the ball, all right? And so they know what you're doing, and you've got to throw the ball. But, look, they've got a decent offense. They've got good passing scheme. It starts. We've got to score one time, and we can't worry about the clock right now.
And even if you only score one time in the next 147, if you can put over 30 points on the board against this Richmond team and be within 7, yeah, coaches, you can't put moral victories on a one-loss column, but you feel a little bit stronger going on the road next week then.
Well, you want to win every game, but really it's about the conference, right? Every coach talks about the conference, and you haven't started MEAC play yet, so you want to build here.
They'll squib kick this one. It bounced off the face mask of a Delaware State player as it bounced up and was grabbed by another Hornet player, and that was number 33, a linebacker, Brian Bates. And Bates, not being familiar with running with the football, did the smart thing. He just dove on the ground. Don't take a chance on getting hit, having the ball get away from you. Hornets will have it from the 26-yard line.
The one thing I would like to see Lee Holt do is here be creative with his quarterback, right? Because the defense sort of knows the predicament you're in. You can't sort of sit him back there as kind of a sitting duck waiting to get beat up. It's a long season. You want your quarterback. Okay, I'd like to see him move around a little bit in the pocket and maybe put him in the play with sprint outs.
Got enough of a scare last week when he got banged up. They're going deep. This one thrown too far as they try to post pattern. Tried to go for it all on that.
As we see Marquis Adams get off the ground, that's exactly what I mean. Like,
yeah.
You don't want to spend the next minute and a half seeing your quarterback pull himself, up off the turf, right? There are things you can do. You can still play action. You can sprint him out, which keeps him athletic and able to defend himself. I just don't like the idea of having him back there as a sitting duck for the last minute and a half. Look, the conference is in front of you, right? You've got a game next week at Campbell, right? You got to live to fight another day.
That was Kyrie Benton who ran that post pattern. Usually when a guy runs a pattern like that, he'll come off. Needs some breather. He's going to set up out on that right side as a receiver. Hornets put 3 out on the right side, 1 on the left side as they have a 2nd down and 10 from their own 26-yard line. 1:39 to go. Quarterback looking. He's going to scramble. He got away from a tackler in the backfield. He'll run with the football up across the 25-yard line. Got about a yard gain on that play, but he was way back almost at his 10-yard line when he got away from a tackler. Back to the line of scrimmage, 3rd down and 10.
Really gutsy performance by Adams tonight.
Ran a long way to get no gain of yardage. Now, a quick pass, complete, and getting out of bounds after making the catch. Hornets going to be about a yard short of the 1st down, but you have to go for it here.
Yeah, you do, but, that may be the formula here. Just, quick hitters. And, again, maybe you can't worry about scoring twice. You just got to see how many completions you can get. I like that a lot more than the slow developing plays that expose Marquis Adams.
Well, they marked his forward progress up to the 36. That's a 1st down for Delaware State. Christian Tate on the catch, 1:05 to play. Adams out of the gun. Looking, has some time. Tried to get a little swing pass out here on the left side to Jaden Sutton, the running back, out of the backfield. And that ball tapped away as he threw it. Couldn't get it over one of the defensive linemen.
Little swing pass. That's why I was just starting to think, maybe you mix in a draw, a screen here, because what you have up front is a bunch of angry dudes pinning their ears back that know what time it is, and they want to get after Marquis Adams. So I like things that are either really quick developing or that sort of take the focus off of Adams.
Carson Stocklinski tipped that ball away. 2nd and 10. Clock stopped on the incompletion. 1:01 to go. Adams now stepping forward. He's going to go down. They're going to lose yardage on that play. The pocket just collapsed. Richmond had a lot of guys coming full steam. 5-yard loss to the 31.
Yeah, again, you're in a predictable situation, but you get a little too predictable there. Again, there are things you can do. You sprint him out, you RPO. I just don't like the idea of him sitting back there taking this punishment. He's proven that he's tough and he's made some plays. You need him the rest of the season.
3rd and 15. A couple plays left. Adams is going to step forward. He will pass complete down to the 44-yard line on the diving catch made by Naji Lally. We haven't called his name too many times tonight. Down to 14 seconds. They'll get one more play, at least one more.
Finish with a positive play.
Hail Mary. Adams holding, looking, throws complete. Lally steps out of bounds, but it could be that we're out of time. It's showing all zeros on the clock. And hold on. Let's see if there's any time left. The officials walking away as if this one is over. So the complete pass would have had a 1st down and maybe one more try. If he'd stepped out a split second sooner, we might have had a second left. But down by 14, it wouldn't have made any difference. Richmond with a 38-24 win over Delaware State. And you know what? I think when they sit down and look at film of this game, they're going to say, we were lucky.
I think so. I think Delaware State, I think from their standpoint, I really was impressed with how they rebounded from what wasn't a great experience last week. Richmond's got to go home and sort of look at themselves and think about what they need to improve. You know, how did Delaware State stop them in the running game? Delaware State's got to build on that. Another opportunity next week down at Campbell. But, you know, I just want to say this. This was a really fun football game to call and a pleasure to work with you tonight, Gary.
Well, why don't we do this again in 2 weeks?
Let's do it.
It's on my calendar. How about yours?
I'll put it on there.
All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN. Well, the Hornets tried valiantly tonight to pull this game.